That was very dramatic music. What track was that? That was... Oh, Olga Martin was on. Okay, that was intense. I don't remember that at all, actually. And I think that was like a horrific vision thing, if I recall correctly. Yeah, that's wild. Wild. Alright, deep breaths. Soak it all in, because, like, I slept, but... Well, what is up, everyone? This is Coffee with Soul. I'm your host. We're going to chat. We're going to talk. As usual, we're going to be mostly looking at other people's places around Azeroth. This time we're going to be looking at mostly US visits. But our first stop, actually, shouldn't be here. Our first stop is going to be back at EU Realms. We're going to take a look at whatever it is creation that Building Mouse and Cottage Wizard had put together. So we'll see that at the top of the thing. And I swear I have not spoiled myself. I haven't even vetted their place, or because they told me like it's a whole outdoor thing. So don't spoil me. We'll see how things look. And then we have, I think, 3 other people that will be visiting, because there were some boo-boos with last week's signups, and so 2 people, unfortunately, they got bumped off, and I didn't have time to add any more. So we will be we'll be taking some time to talk about the state of housing in World of Warcraft, or at least the state of players in housing. As of right now, because we are this week we are 6 months into housing. We had housing for 6 months. The early access stuff started the week of, I think, December 2nd or 3rd or something like that. So that about tracks. Yeah. No, wait, no, 5 months. Shit, 12. Yeah, 5 months. Sorry. Great. I got to rewrite the script. So we're 5 months into housing, and we're at where we're at. There are things that people want. There are things that we still haven't gotten yet. There are things on the horizon, and so I was going to do like this sort of guide on perspective in housing, but I just a topic like this and how people are talking about housing right now, I can't help but want to jump in on that thing. So that video, it can come out as soon as tomorrow if I like hustle and write it out, because I'm just gonna have a bunch of visits or tours that I'll use for the B-roll. So I'm just gonna slap that on and like call that a day. So I hope that gets some good communication out, because there are things I think one of the big takeaways that I want people to go to get from it is this whole sense of, one of the critiques of housing is that housing, it doesn't do anything, for lack of a better term, and there are some people who are like, oh, I want it to give us gear, I want it to give us profession stuff and what have you, and I want to try to exert influence and frame the question a little bit differently and ask folks, what do we want to do with housing? It's a little different. Asking what housing should do for us, it suggests that housing should produce something that we get out of it, like a reward or something like that. What can we do with housing, though? That is to take, is just that. What do we want to do with the housing? And there's only a handful of things that we can do with housing. One is to have a gallery, and that's something that we eat really good on, because that's why we're here around Azeroth. We look at the whole spectacle, we admire stuff, we take a look at the imaginations of players, and like I said, we eat good. It's banging. But what else? We can do jumping puzzles. That's kind of cool. We had a lot of fun doing one of those last week. It's less of a shared thing, though, less of a community thing. It's more like a, hey, can you do it? Can you get it? And all that. But it's more like, that sort of personal fulfillment. It's a mini game that players can create with user-generated content. That is a thing we can do with housing. And I'd love to do more things. And then there's roleplay, which is a space that I'm not really involved with, but a lot of folks do have. But Also, RP is a very insular thing. It's a very closed community, kind of dealy. And so people who are outside of that community, they'll look at their house and be like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." So they'll look at it like it's just, again, like a gallery sort of thing. So I want to kind of shift the questions over to that angle, and that'll inform on certain kinds of feedback. And anyway, let me say hi to people, because I ain't even done that yet. Sheesh. What is up to Ravens? You're the first person to say hi. What's up? What's up to Hazelnut and Rain and Blywin and Panda? What's up to Chesto Cat? Thanks, by the way, Falco, for subscribing. What's up to Malvenue and Arcadius and Savitar? Thanks to Blywin for also subscribing. Hello to Arumis and Walt Huntress and the Ling Storm and Kaisho and Darth Bane. Hello to Lala Crafts Wow and Daz Kalfi. What's up to Mouse? Hey, we'll be seeing your place in a little bit. I can't wait to just be like, oh my god. What is up to Balco? To Damn Straight, hello to Sexy Sarah and Celethia, to Amira, and to the rest of y'all, the beautiful digital smile faces going to join us throughout the day. Hope everyone's doing well. It is Wednesday, which means it's been, we had our raid night. We did pretty good. We finally got some meaningful, what I'd like to think is meaningful progression on the Ilaria fight. We're a bunch of slackers over here. No, not even that. We're playing the game the way we play it. And I think we got some good headway. Like after the raid, I'm like, look, because I'm recording my stuff. I'm looking at the footage and I'm like, okay, here's how the timing of all this stuff works. Yes, and so I'm starting to like understand it, and I'm seeing the encounter start to like unravel into its pieces, and that's always fun to kind of like piece all those things together. Now, of course, it's another thing to just be like, oh, well, the guide said this and this and this, but for those who are less familiar with how my guild and I run things, for the most part, we go pretty blind. We'll resort to the dungeon journal thing if there's, if we're having trouble understanding like a certain tooltip or like a certain ability, because there's just a lot of stuff that happens. But for the most part, with like the strategy and all that stuff, like we just kind of like, most of the time, we let death help dictate what is and is not a good idea. Yeah. All right. Let's see, I'm here for the Building Mouse tour. Right on. Housing is just having your own personal space in the game you have played for 20 years. Absolutely. A lot of it is a personal thing, and it was that Wildhat article that helped to kind of like ignite some of the conversations. And again, that's why I want to, drop my 2 cents on it. It is kind of nice and refreshing to see people who are both for and against housing, people who don't care about it, like they're in relative agreement that, don't do the whole player power thing. That's just stupid, because the people who don't want housing just don't want housing. They don't want to be incentivized to jump into that stuff. Like, they're already not interested. Don't force them. Like, that's just kind of messed up. And what's up to Nordenheim? Thanks for bringing your buddies in. Hey, Soul. We're just kind of getting started here. I'm doing my sort of warm up before we start doing the visits over on the U.S. side. So it's good to have you. All right. Let's see. You're today of my house, and I'm stuck at work. No, that's not gangster at all. That's pretty. That's pretty poop. Sorry about that, dude. Let's say I want to show off my sets and mounts and archaeology stuff, and like that's another thing. What can we do with housing? This is very closely related to the whole gallery sense of things, but it's also this sense of very personal fulfillment to create a trophy room. We can't really do a trophy room with housing, or at least the so-called trophies that are available are extremely limited. But during this whole talk about the state of housing, I also want to like bring up some of the nasty realities that we have to deal with. We want racial housing, we want weapon racks and mannequins to decorate and all that stuff. We want everything and then some. But we also have to deal with, and we don't want to deal with, but unfortunately, there are these technical limitations we need to deal with. We're seeing it kind of be shaved away. We're seeing the core limits like going up. It went up a little bit. It's going up It's going to go up a little bit more on the outdoors. Decor limits on the inside, like that has been going up, and people still want more, obviously. But there's also the storage aspect of it. We can only hold on to so much decor at once. And so for those who are really into housing, they've had to deal with deleting decor that they bought because they had too much, but they have like this wide variety of builds that they want to explore and try out. Imagine if we did have, all the racial housing all at once, but we still only had like the 7,500 limit. That would be pretty shit. Imagine if they did answer our outcry for, oh, I want more than just 2 houses. I want 10. I want 20. But then they got to balance that storage issue still. That's one of those unfortunate realities that you can't just hand wave it. And some people have in some of the commentary that have been said, people will be like, it's just a made up thing. I'm like, it's not just a made up thing, dude. Sorry. It's one of those like shitty realities that unfortunately we got to deal with. But I've had the time with decor people following with my housing tours on EU since I can have tour NA builds. Nice. Very cool. Now, I am going to start with one EU visit, but then we have 3 other folks that we're going to be checking out today as well. So, I consider my entire house to be my trophy room. Most of the decor I've collected is the end result of 22 years of a plain wow. And I want to counterpoint that, because I have had this very strong critique of, I want to be able to put up weapons. I want to be able to put up like the armor sets that I've slowly been collecting over time. Imagine at one point, when they say weapons and armor sets, they're in. We can do stuff with them. That's going to kind of unleash a whole sense of collection excitement in part of like everyone who cares about that sort of thing, right? Because then they're going to be like, oh, dude, okay, there's some sets that I haven't completed yet. I almost have the whole thing of like this preset. And thankfully we can farm appearances from, whatever we get. It's not, those restrictions aren't quite there anymore. And so we're going to see people be like, oh, just a big wave of folks running slamming old content for the purpose of unlocking transmog stuff. Not for their character, but for their 50 mannequins in their house. So it's gonna trigger something. It's gonna hit something different. And I think it's gonna be dope. But we still need to deal with like some of that technical stuff. I don't know. There's a genuine captive decor. Yeah, like there's only like so much of the stuff we can hold on to. Like you can see here, like I'm at 6724 out of 7500. When I hit that, I just can't collect any more stuff. So kind of lame. Now the casuals, they don't have to worry about it. They're fine. You can make your cool thing. You can have your trophy room and all that stuff. But for the people who are making like sprawling mansions and like ridiculous kit bashed stuff, or like giant paladin frescoes, whatever it was that we saw yesterday, you're gonna end up buying a crap ton of stuff, and all that stuff will add up, unfortunately. Racial housing is one thing, but some decor that could be used as tools to build racial things would be cool. It's hard to replicate torn tents, for example. Yeah, I mean, there are ways to do it, but you expend lots of budgets, lots of decor in order to make that work. Thank you, Miss Lola. The decor inventory limit has me now filling 2 alt banks with unlearned decor waiting for the limit expansion. I wish they could release a roadmap for housing. During the interview that Holly Longdale did in the WoW Portal room in the Discord channel, she kind of threw the housing team under the bus. She's like, oh yeah, I know that during the State of Azeroth, they did in fact talk about things that they want to do. They just didn't have a timeline for it. And she's like, oh yeah, maybe we should do that. Which kind of sucks. No, it doesn't suck, because players want it. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I found that funny because I was like, wait, because when I heard her say it, I was like, wait, didn't we just like get a thing on that like a couple weeks ago? But like I said, people want a timeline. I totally get it. I expect that a huge project they're working on for saves and pets and mounts and all this is taking up most of the time. I mean, I kind of wonder, like, how much art, how much decor are they just kind of sitting if they're sitting on anything, because they could be. You know, it's like we have all this stuff, but with limitations, they can't just add it in. If they did, it would answer a lot of player outcry, but then people would run into these limits, and then that excitement would come to a screeching halt, and people will be pissed. So the core inventory limit never made sense to me. It's a very technical thing. Okay, we got like 11 minutes. It's a very technical thing where it's just too much data to handle. So during testing, or during alpha or beta or something like that, someone bought like tens of thousands of items, and they just kept adding stuff. You know, so they bought so many items that when they tried to place things or delete things, it would crash the entire neighborhood. So there is like, somewhere in housing is this upper limit where things start to fray and destabilize and just get all jacked up. I don't know what it is. You know, I don't, I can't explain it, but there's something there that's causing like this sort of limitation, which is very unfortunate because we have to deal with these limitations as players. But to say it doesn't make sense, it's something we don't understand, but the devs have said over and over, at least in more layman terms, that, you know, there's stability issues, it breaks things. Sorry about that. We want to work on it and make that better. We did see we did see this limit go up by a bit. I think it started off as what? Shoot, what was it, guys? Was it 5,000 or 6,000 or something like that? And then it's gone up, and I expect it to continue to go up as we go. Of course, again, the thing is, like, how do we handle like having like all this inventory of stuff? And it's just going to keep growing with every expansion, or with every patch. I'm sorry, the total number of decor we can have is going to keep going up. If they decide, oh, you can have a third house now, this number is also going to go up. So how do we handle that? That's their problem, obviously, but something we just bitch about. So, and I'm not sure. You know, for us, it seems like simple. It's not like literal physical things that they're holding on to a physical storage. These are just like numbers. You know, so why can't they handle that? I don't know. Advocate of his house, he knows how quick that number rolls up when you buy like 1,000. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the place that I built for Azeroth Interiors, like it's not a very large place, and I was, you know, this is before the this is when houses were at most like level 6. But I kind of filled it up, you know. I presume when someone loads into a neighborhood, their entire inventory of the player's house within viewing distance loads with them. I don't know, but stuff happens, right? That's the same reason there's a gold cap. It's not that they don't have a tech limit, it's just that they didn't give us a way out of it. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Sherzana. Coding inside of server resources, numbers can only go so high before things go sideways, see above. One thing would be for us to allow us to reclaim resources, like engineers could take things apart, we could sell back to the vendors. The things, so like return like total value or something like that. That could be a thing. You know, like things that we bought with like whatever the gold or resources that we had, we can like return that stuff. Man, that gets annoying. But hey, that's that could be a thing. There would be like one of the few workarounds that we can implement now. You know what I mean? And that could be a thing. I'll mention that in the write-up. So that could be cool. Yeah, so like at least like the vendor items and stuff. When it comes to things that are just earned from like quests and whatnot. I guess the way that it needs to be handled a certain way, and I know that they've talked about it. The devs have talked about it a little bit. Where like for example, like this candle. I'm just making stuff up. Like you can have one, you can still have one, but like you can't you can't delete the last one that you have, something like that, because that was like the original one that you got. Like if this was linked to an achievement or something like that. This one's not, but I'm just, you know, using this as an example. On the Score channel on the housing subreddit, the mods for the posted copy of message from Jesse. Is this about the limits? Yeah. That was on yesterday's build. So like he said it. He said it on socials. It's in the developer notes for yesterday's build that came out, which is kind of surprising. You usually don't see a PTR build on a Tuesday. That was different. So. Hasn't feels like it's in this weird buggy space right now. It's been in a weird buggy space. You know? I mean, I don't know if here we can check right now. I don't know if like some of the die bugs have been fixed yet, but we can actually take a look at that real quick because I know whose house to look at, where we can test this bug. So here. I feel bad I'm using someone else's house as regression testing. Ha 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 ha. I mean, I could use my own house. That'd be smart. But, yeah, that's not me, so. By the way, thanks to Slippin' Hen for the Prime. Also, thanks to, I think Darth and Blyland. Okay, so I know I gotta be better with that. That's a spoiler alert. You're not seeing anything. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to this dude's place. Instead of increasing decor limits outside, why Blizzard doesn't only decrease the decor cost? I think they just want to maintain that whole like budget sort of thing. I mean, there are things that are just really expensive, so I think that there should be a pass on things that are just like, oh, that's a lot, versus other stuff. So, hi, Brox. I'm invading your space like a scumbag. Okay, so boom, not fixed. Okay, yeah, so kind of a bummer. So this is so far an enduring bug where you see how these grays are like, you know, bright and like kind of silvery and shiny and stuff. They shouldn't be. It should be black, like the night. Okay, not black, but they should be as black as the inside of the Elven table. Yeah, so kind of a shame. This is still one of my most favorite things ever, though. This, I still gush over this one. This one's so good. Oh, it's so inventive. I love it. I love it. Maybe they could have us store a room converted into a single entity, so to speak. Like when you get gear and it goes by your appearances, then the room can be taken off the count and count as. Yeah, but the thing is, Arizona, then that information is taken from one like database or something like that and just moved elsewhere. So you're still, so yeah, the information is still being stored somewhere, and you can. So you kind of like. I'm not even sure if that like solves one problem and starts another. That might just be like the same thing. Is that a candle? No, this is, so here's, I'll do the mouse over. So here's a beam, right? This is like some blood elf thing, right? That's being used as like the jeweled handle. This right here is a brazier. So that's why you see some of the effects there. That's being used as the thing here. My words today, man, are like nope. And then here's like and then there's a barrel that's being used as the handle. That's it. That's all it is. Beam, statue thing, cup thing, or you know, brazier thing, and a freaking flame. Yeah, I guess yeah, that's where some of the effects come from too. That's it. So yeah. There's this very here. We still got a little bit of time. There's this very impressive vault somewhere here. It's fantastic. Love the place. I don't know where it is though. So to me, it's like the hilt is a big one. Oh, so then here's like the vault. With like so, oh man, the effects on that, sick. And then inside, of course, you have like this fantastical wang of stuff, but like the vault is like, oh, mwah, awesome. Like you can kind of see like with a trained eye, you can be like, okay, like check out all these Librams that are like here and here and here. They're all angled. They're all positioned in like certain places, and they're shooting against here. Yeah, so like there's like one book that's sort of hidden there. It's hard to see though, but because they're all like inside walls and stuff. But yeah, you have that sort of effect. So good. Housing is so goddamn good. Ugh. It's gross. Oh, and then there's Garrosh Head. Oh, yeah. All right. So today is going to be a bit shorter on the actual visits. Again, like we only have 4 places we'll be looking at. We'll see how much Mouse has to show us, and Cottage Wizard. Let me make sure the music is off. And where's my list, buddy? Oh, by the way, the next week's list, it already filled up. It's nasty. Like, y'all, like, piled in hella fast. One EU person managed to squeeze themselves in. The rest of y'all, and only two repeats. So people came out in force. I'm very, very happy about this. You look at the thing today, they're both incredible. Nice. Yeah, we'll I don't think I have Cottage Wizard's BattleNet thing. Like, shoot, did Mouse give that to me? They gave me their oh, blah, blah, blah. Where's the stuff? There's the thing. So I got Mouse's thing. I mean, we'll see if I can visit it. I don't know. Yeah, so let's see what's going on. Boop, boop, boop. So, how do I start this? Okay. All right, we're going to be checking out this collaboration between Building Mouse and Cottage Wizard. I have not seen it yet. I have successfully lived under a rock with this thing, and avoided social media. I'm not even looking at chat right now because they might be like saying some stuff. And so we'll see what it is they made. Yeah, I'm frightened. All I know is it's going to be like blow your mind. Oh my god, I'm gonna vomit sort of stuff. So I'm gonna here. Let me turn off the stuff and hide myself. Okay, so here's the house. All right, very nice. We have like this big structure, really big. So how do we start here actually? So coming from this spot, you know, we have like the lot here. We have it here in the corner ish somehow. But then as we go up, let's take a look at like this whole breakdown. So we have like these 2 big old structures being set up. Nice, dude, really killer bridge that we have that's kind of connecting these spots here. Lots of greens around the spots. Budget has been like, you know, really setting up like these two steps. So can I even get up here, or can I even climb up? We'll see in just a second. So we got our okay. It looks like the house is like elevated up there. So we'll see if we can make our way up from the other end. this is kind of unusual. So big supports, lots of details here too. That like this is huge. How'd they get all this stuff together? And I can't really climb up. Yeah, so let's head over here up top. So we got our doors, and then on these, I don't know if we call it like a parapet. Wait. Oh, I'm gonna throw up, dude. Hold on. No, wait, dude, no. No, this ain't. Wait a minute. So, wait, how did they make another one? Oh, no way. There's one lot. There's the other lot. I'm not kidding. I'm gonna throw up. Wait, how did this what the, okay, I'm how did they do that? What the heck? There's some black magic crap going on. Okay, okay, so here's the lot. It's shaped like this. So I'm sure it's supposed to have like this whole rectangular thing to it, but then they put it in the corner. Somehow between the lot shape here, because here you can see the shape on this, right? How it all kind of like, you know, the rectangular shape starts here. Somehow, like, I guess the lots are like close together, and then they managed to, dude, just, this is this is stupid. This is so stupid. Wow. I'm I'm perplexed. Oh, this is just nasty. Oh my god. They got two freaking houses. Oh. See, this is what happens when you have a budget of 500. Oh man. That is but how? like so I guess they're so close to each other that somewhere here are like are like small connections that you can make to sort of like clip it through, and somehow they were legal moves. Wow. I'm now that's some fun experimenting. That is so creative, innovative, etc., etc., etc. I'm oh, good god. That's so cool. There's got to be other places like this, right? Okay, let me look at chat now. So yeah, two plots decorated together, and you just need two plots. I never realized that they could become this close. That's oh wow, that's so neat, dude. So what we have in house number one, because yeah, so here's so here's Mouse's house, right? This is the mouse house. It's elevated. You can see here they used walls. So we're gonna start doing the breakdown. I think I'm settling down a little bit. So we're gonna cut this thing in half, and here's like house number one. All right, raised up with walls. We have like these cool little bits of so like this. Like I said, this is what happens when we have an opportunity to just have like a bigger budget. We can just do like so much more. So you can see here like there are walls being put together there to help assemble that. Here's like the regular house. There's like nothing else on it because you can't really afford to like do much more. Some greens, not just for avoiding clip, but just to add like that good little bit of personality to things. And just like how like the fine tuning of how these beams are set up with like the minimal clip here and there. Oh, this is just nasty, dude. So I think we have some yeah, so we have like the walls here on the sides. And then that's just like the regular stuff, but then they also had the texture with those walking stones. And then here, beams. And somehow one of these things like are, at some point we go from one house to the next. Oh, that's just stupid. This is so insane. Oh, wow. Yeah, what a cool idea. And from here, you can see like it's a lot of beam work that's happening. We have like things that are like really eaten to the budget, like the walls and whatnot. Um, but they limited it to that. So that way they can, have the extra real estate or budget to set everything else. This is crazy. So here I believe this is Cottage's place. And here they added like this cool extension. That's neat. Yeah, you can see right here, you have like the whole box set up. It's like nice and dark inside. Oh man. I think these two, yeah, these are very expensive. These are like two walls that they just like jam those things right in there to assemble it. And like these little doors, these little cabinet looking door structures, which I believe is mostly cabinet stuff. You start off with that, and it's the back of it, it looks like, with like, and then of course you have like your standard mug handle sort of thing. Really cool illusions that are being set up. Just wow. The dude. And it's just a house, nothing too crazy. It's not a giant gun or a big robot or whatnot, but this is like definitely their style. It's so convincing. It is such a grand illusion of stuff. Oh, great collaboration. Swear, dude. And I guess we should go inside too, huh? So we'll go into, actually, let me do a double check. I don't know if Cottage's place is accessible to me here. I'm sure Mouse's is, but ooh, can I get in? Come on, buddy. Come on. You can do it, little undead guy. Okay, this place is pretty safe from zombie invasions, so there's that. I got a jumping puzzle my way inside. So let's see if this works. Okay, so Cottage's works, but I won't go here yet. Mouse signed up first. We're going to Mouse's first. So yeah. There's a video on. Oh yeah, I know there's a video on it. I was just like, nope, can't see it. Can't see it. And they do fantastic breakdowns of their builds. I don't think it's an understatement to say that between these two folks and like a handful of others, that's disgusting. What the shit? I think I've seen this before actually, but now we get to take a close look at it. Anyway, what I was saying was like between the two of them, among like a handful of others, they've inspired so many of the builds that we see. And I think that's awesome. And this though is, oh wow, this grosses me out. So I think I remember seeing this build in the Northrend Live. There was like a little housing competition that he had, and one of the features was Mouse, who had like basically like their own art gallery. So I believe this is what we should be expecting here. And well, but now I'm here, and now I get to like do this breakdown. So help me out, folks. I am not an art person. I'm, as much as I love housing, I'm like a layman when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So what is this? Help me out, please, because idiot here. I don't know what I'm seeing. It's obviously this really this abstraction. It's a Klimt. So Klimt is the Klimt. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. So gush with me on this one, because again, I'm not an art person. It's called The Kiss, and like parts wise, lots of small bits to help bring this together. Corners of many things, shelves, tables, shelves, and so on. Lots of cushions, leaves on the side. These look like more rugs. Yeah, more rugs over on that end. I need to see this. Okay, I do need to see the source. Let's do that. That'll be helpful, right, guys? All right, so let's take a look. Okay, so I am not familiar with this, but here's like the original right here. Oh, that's good. That is such a good interpretation of it. And of course, you have all the facial features and all that too. It's minimalist, but boy, is it there. Oh, what a cool delivery! What a cool delivery. Nice. No, it does look like the original. That's sick. All right, so let's see what else is in this galley. I mean, first, we got other breakdowns here too. We got this fantastic door set up, and we have, the top is a cabinet, that much seen clear. Bookcase is being used as like the framing on the side on this thing here, and I think we're seeing like the same. So beams in the back to just make um, a solid lighting. Behind it looks like there's another window there too, followed by like some yard tools to make the windows. Crates right down there. What's here at the base? Okay, the base is also using. Oh, okay. So this whole thing is a bookcase, but then they used these beams to obscure the studs, the metal studs right there on that side. That's neat. So what else do we have? Windows set up. Oh no, dude. Oh, like when we pull back, right? It's like instantly recognizable. And oh man. And then as we get close, we get this different fascination of, oh man, look at like how they had to take each of these edges. And you have like this whole perspective shot being set up. Oh man. Wow. The breakdown of this is just crazy. Crazy. And then all of these strokes are like different curtains over and over and over again, somewhat different shapes to like give us the sense of like brush strokes and all that. So Mouse, I gotta ask, like, how long did it take? I don't know if they're still here. How long did it take for like any single piece here? Oh, like 10 minutes. Like, yeah, because obviously there's like the whole so 5 or 6 hours per painting. Oh, that is just so damn. Let me do I think I clicked something by accident. Yeah, sorry door thing. Wow. Like this angling here, that to me is just crazy, absolutely crazy. I think we all know what that one is. So I'm not gonna pull up the original. Oh, and then there's okay. Someone said this is Starry Night. Oh, jeez, dude. Let's get closer. Let me pull up the thing in the meantime too. So Starry Nights. Here we go. Actually, images will do. That one's good enough. Okay. Wow. Yeah, oh yeah, I saw that too. That they did not win the competition, but you know what? I knew it. I knew that's what was going to happen. I knew, unfortunately, that Mouse wouldn't win, and it's because like they were up against places that were. Well, it's I'd say it's the reason why I won Azeroth Interiors. It's not because my house was like really good, much better than everyone else's, but it's because I stayed on theme. I played the judges. And I think that's what happened with this competition too. On like the technical aspect, this is mind blowing. This is like holy crap. But when it boils down to it, I think when it comes to like judging, I think appealing to hey, let's bring in something that feels unmistakably like Warcraft. That's what's going to edge out, unfortunately. But on its merit, this mwah, this is art, right? And that's one of the big joys beginnings from housing. So let's take a closer look and see like obviously big use of course of the curtains, but like some of these smaller pieces here, you know, we're seeing decor being used as brush tools basically. So lots of angled stuff, especially from like this elven shelf does quite a bit of heavy lifting to bring in curves, you know, just dye it to whatever color you want, bring in like a little crescent or something like that, or a straight edge. Straight edges, they typically come from beams or probably tables because those you can dye into all the different colors. Wow. And then of course you have like the rugs in the back. Goodness, man. The moon's on fire. Yeah, you have that like that certain glow. Like you can see a little bit of the flickering, but it's also some of the glow that like helps to pop because like all of these have like little candles on them, right? Yeah, little candles on each of these things here to really make the whites on these like really pop. You can see here, um, it's not as prominent, but with all the lighting effects that are out here too, like it helps to make all these whites just come out even better. Can't imagine how much is the budget ate up. Oh man! Now this I love too, the branding. Internal. We'll take a look at the left and right in a bit, but I love the branding. It's so clean, super clean branding. Um, you know, this is the kind of thing that you put on like the YouTube banner or like the channel logo or something like that. Uh, so clean. And now we have the girl with the I forgot the whole name. Pearl earring, something like that, right? Um yeah. I know a little bit. I know a little bit. So the challenge here is with like trying to because this is like a bigger shot. Big challenge with facial expressions. There's only so much we can do with like freaking, you know, pieces of furniture and trying to fit this and trying to fit this. But what a fantastic job of using like the different decor to create my bad. To create like different color tones. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Yeah, you can see how like the colors like fade into like the deeper into the deeper colors, deeper tones and all that. Let me change the angle here. Don't need me there. Yeah. Oh, so good. And again, you have like the high use of these curtains, and then a lot of blood of materials. A lot of blood materials because they have like big shapes. They're flat, and of course they're dyeable too. And then what is so that is oh that's the bottom of a drape. Oh, so you can kind of like see that, and then you can see, dude, that's awesome. Awesome. And then we have, of course, the Mona Lisa painting right here. God, man. Oh, it's like, and it's, oh, there's like a full, is there a bigger version? Okay, there's a bigger version. Here we go. There we go. God damn, dude. So because of, you know, the brush strokes on the painting and how it like blends in, you can kind of think of this as like, oh, it's very blurred back here. You know, so of course you can't really pull it off with trying to create like, oh, let me make actual trees and actual lake. You just gotta kind of stick with the color palettes. So that way, if you're doing like a far shot like this, you know, the smaller it is, obviously the more detailed it's going to look. When you get closer, you start to see like the breakdown and everything. But man, yeah, they even went through like they even added like some of the texturing um, on the clothes too. Oh man. Something happened with the license. I last checked the house. Her nose used to look darker. Yeah, so there's been so like I said, like right before we started these visits, I was pointing out how some dyes are just like how some dye channels are not like functioning correctly, this is the result, unfortunately. So, just want to keep that in mind. If there are things that may not look, um, right on the colors, is because there's a current bug going on with these dies. Sucks, I know, but but for what this is, damn, crazy. Oh, this is some crazy work we have here. Amazing. And what's the frame actually? Tables. So again, yeah, we're seeing the elven furniture being used as these straight edges. In this case, to make this custom frame, you can kind of see like some of the curvature there. Very cool. I love this tool, man. This is like one of the best things that that they put in for like the housing stuff, is that now we can like do like big breakdowns of like the pieces that are being used, and get like at least an idea of some of the techniques being utilized in case they don't have like a full like tutorial on how to assemble all this stuff. Oh man, amazing gallery. Like I said, on its merits, totally should have won this and any number of contests. Was there? Okay, I think there was like another. Yeah, is this a thing? Does this take me anywhere? This takes me to a shelf. I believe that will be it for this. But I mean, all the budget went into like these spots here. But a proper art gallery doesn't need to have like 50,000 rooms. Sometimes you just have like these centerpieces and you blow minds. Thanks, Mouse. Thanks for showing us your place. And the outside. So we'll take a look at am I good with taking a look at Cottage's place? Because I think you said so when we first talked about this. I don't want to go to a place without like permission. You know what I mean? I give it okay, great. So we are gonna see 5 places today. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Amazing stuff. Okay, okay, I gotta take screenshots. Cause like, dude, I can't not take screenshots. So boop. Boop. Let me kind of go around here. Boop. I forgot exactly what I think I was like watching the I forgot what I was doing at the time. I think I was streaming during Northrend Live because I was going to do like this whole jumping puzzle thing later in the day, and then there's like some interview stuff that we were doing. And so I was seeing this contest. I was like, "Oh, how? Where do you get the time?" Oh man. I wouldn't know where to begin if I tried to like do some sort of like emulation of a thing. Boy. Yeah. I've been actually kind of bad about taking screenshots, but I have like certain plans in mind where I'm going to be more not more aggressive. I'm going to be more active on social media to just highlight folks' houses and show off. Yo, dude, check out this thing that people made. This is amazing because they are freaking amazing. This though is just I can feel the bile building up. Just how mind blowing this is, dude. Oh, dude, like, yeah, I don't know. It's wild. Ugh. Okay, the trees are obscuring a bit much here. Sorry, boy, you gotta get out of my way. Here, let me pan back a little bit more, I guess. Yeah, it just has like this huge scale, man. Oh. Yeah, youtube.com at Building Mouse. Like, check out their place or check out their tutorials. They have tons of stuff. Like I said, they've been, my perception at least, they've been a very big influence on many, many builds. They've been showing off and sharing breakdowns on how to do all sorts of things. So imagine later on, once import export becomes a thing, it's going to be awesome to be like, hey, here's how to do a thing. Let me show you how to fish, but also here is like the thing. So that way people can reverse engineer it if they wanted to. So if Mouse or whoever wanted to like share how they do their stuff, awesome. At the same time, like sometimes at a glance, we might want to like take a look at stuff on our own. We can do that. All right. So we have entered the house of Cottage Wizard, another big housing creator who has demonstrated like absolute mastery over their craft. This is a place. Well, I have no idea what to expect in here yeah, because yeah. Um, and from this, we can expect like very meticulous detailing on like just about every set piece here. So, like for example, out here we have like this light box with the outdoor like gardeny sort of thing. Uh, the really awesome part is because we're using these kinds of windows, we have the immediate glow that has that really lights up whatever's on the inside, bounces right back at us. But it's obscured enough that we can get away with not trying to fill out like every single detail out in that room. A lot of the time when setting up housing designs, like you can kind of get away with letting people's imagination take over. You don't need to convince everyone about every single piece that's available. But at the same time, imagination can run real wild. So, like for example, we have like this staff that's a rocket, something like that. You know, nice little breakdown of like these like simulated weapon racks. So it's an example of what's possible. And there's a lot more stuff that's coming in the upcoming patch too. That aren't weapons; they're more like tools. Now, what do we have here? So as we climb up, notice how, we start here and we go boom, boom, boom. So we immediately just kind of like tighten up the space here. This, I believe, nope, that's not the normal roof. So it's a constructed roof and things are upside down. Fun. Um, and I don't know what to make of this. You know, it's hard to like identify things, but it feels like we're in a shop of sorts, right? We're in a magic shop with magic products like scattered all over the place. I love how we have like this whole different mix of colors of all sorts. We have yellows, we have purples, and then we have like this really bright blue that's coming in from the outside. So from here, like they're just using the netting as the fence, but you have lots of like bright blues coming in that are both, shining everything outside, but also coming back in. You can see how it, sort of bleeds in a little bit. But when we pan back, we see like this very natural sense of clutter. This feels like a shop that we're coming into, and we see like all these different products being displayed. Just don't snatch them. That's messed up. It seems to be the kind of place where you can easily just kind of like grab stuff and dash, but you'll probably get killed uh, in the process. Magic mirrors and stuff. One's haunted. Beware. Um, beware of like anything. It's like some hanging linens here. If we want to like just pick up stuff to craft cloaks or any number of things. Weapon racks being used as like other displays. We got this cool, very cool, not fireplace, but just kind of like this cooking cauldron for who knows what magic stuff. Or they might say, no, this is just like dinner. No, we got this laboratory all locked up. And again, just to remind you guys, like it's a tightened up space. Right up here we have like these kind of storage things that were being set up, like all sorts of like I believe that's like a kobold treasure and just all sorts of like random knickknacks that are being used to give that sense of like, okay, here's just like a bundle of stuff that are being collected and stored and held onto. But also like it's just a low roof. It's a low roof they set up. These are beams. It's not the actual roof being set up. Really cool. More magic lab stuff, captured things. Really, like I said, really natural thing. Sometimes I'll see folks, they'll utilize something like this and it'll just be like kind of out there, right? Here, again, tightening up the space, utilizing like just some of what's going on, because you don't need the whole thing to kind of illustrate what you're trying to depict here, which looks to be like this sort of vault for like forbidden books. You can kind of see in the books that are inside all that stuff of Draenei nature, because we have all these like deep purples and lots of Draenei paraphernalia over here in that spot. Now check out this window, because from a distance here, it looks like this whole textured structure, right? Like it's something that's just made with like wood pieces or something like that. But as we get closer, we can see the breakdown. We can see how the actual assembly is utilizing like beams first, but then it's using these rug rolls or pillow rolls, sorry, to set up the shape. So that way, from a distance, it's going to look like one thing. As we get closer, we see the breakdown. But then the outside window, oh, that looks cool. Super duper bright inside. It's doing a great job of emulating that window feel. Tons of blues inside. And we can see it like both in there and illuminating everything inside, and it's like blasting out. We can see like these glows start spilling in. Really cool. Poor Mr. Snuffles. He's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's great, but can you just let me out? Crazy detail in just like that little retail space. And then, dun dun dun, to be continued. So this I think this might be the only room, but we'll explore like a little bit more, because like there's some stairs that lead up as well. I gotta say, it's a real treat being able to visit creators of like this level who've been making their own content and all that stuff, and I don't want to like step on toes and be like, oh well, so like they did this video, but now I'm gonna come in and but like it's just spreading joy. That's what I'm hoping to pull off here. So we come in right here. So we walk in and we have like this whole, it warms up all of a sudden. We have this like really deep office vibe. And funny enough, what I'm directed to first are these like shadows being set up. So we have like these little silhouettes, and yeah, they're like shells back there, but somehow they're like blended in just enough to create that whole burned in feel and become what are, well, basically wallpaper, right? So I think what might be going on here is like they're just dyed a very similar color and they're like barely clipping through. Yeah, they are. Oh, dude, that's so good. Oh, that's so good, because especially because with the lighting here, you can see it almost again, it has a sort of like burned in feel. You have like this kind of like really slight like gradient going in, and then becomes a pattern. Oh, this is disgusting. Oh, that's awesome. So, and you can tell here where the lighting makes a difference. So, for example, on this side, no lighting, you can see the burn-in, but you can also see kind of the clip that's happening there, which is fine, because it really makes a great example of how here the lighting helps to obscure that clip as well. And now you have a more convincing feel of that burn-in. Oh, that's dope. Really, really cool concept. Yeah, I hope y'all taking notes, because there are things that we can definitely pick up from these visits. Lots of cool techniques. Now here, very intense like wind action happening. It starts off with like the waterfall or fountain work that's happening here and down there, as you see like the water like splash down. So we have like a really strong illusion of rain. It also helps to have like the clothes out there. Now, obviously, we think to ourselves, yo, get that crap out of there. What are you doing? But we're just trying to illustrate that whole weather effect. And then when everything's going, oh, it all like comes together. And we get mad because someone didn't bring the laundry in. It's like, yo, dude, we just put this out. Did you not look at the weather? Sheesh. Over here, though, you see a bit less of the expression. You don't have the additional clothesline, because there's kind of no point. Why would you have a clothesline there and here at the same time? So it's like those little thoughts that go in here. But I like how, the window, it's kind of a centerpiece, but at the same time, they kind of understated by just adding like so many big pieces here as well. So you're there. And I'm disconnecting, which is great. So, yeah. Nope, that was a weird flub thing. Okay. All right. Now, what else is around here? Oh, just like the way the lighting dances here. So good. We've got our little hats. They made a little hat and cloak. I love the use of this thing. I've been seeing it on top of like blood elf statues, and that's been awesome. It's like, yeah, check out my awesome cloak. But then we'll look at it. But then we'll look at it and we'll be like, that does nothing for you. It looks like it's something that will just like just tangle up or like wisp away or something like that. But yo, it's my fashion statement, dude. Got a problem with that? So, oh, okay. There's more. There's more. Kind of neat though. That's it could be a layout kind of decision or something like that. I just find it kind of fascinating that there's like some distance between here and the portal. A lot of the time, I'll see designers, reveal the stuff, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a portal like right in front of us. So we'll see if there's like a payoff to that sort of design decision. But then back here, we have like this, let's just go back to this real quick. Nice setup where they made the bookshelves feel embedded into the walls. They took like these tables here, very popular by the way. They took these big tables, used them as these sort of like textured pillars. They could have used pillars too, but this looks like way better, and it definitely fits like this darker vibe to close off these ginormous bookshelves, these blood of bookshelves, and kind of like make them feel part of the wall. Sick. Wait, this is a. They made this map. Good God, dude. so here, they made Azura as a desk mat. Oh, oh. I haven't even taken screenshots yet. What am I doing, dude? I'm too busy just gushing and getting mad at myself over my inadequacy. And okay, I'm running into like some buggy things here and there. Sorry about that. Um, like little like lag spikes or whatever. So forgive me. Um, all right, let me put this up. All right. Let's see, what else do we have here? Actually, I need to pause really quick because I think I just ran into a big technical issue. Hold on. Chat, can you just say something real quick? I just want to make sure that you guys are still around. Saw so many videos and they really influence high percentage of builders and creators. Absolutely. Can you zoom in on this? Okay, so cool. You guys are still here. All right. Because I think one of my hard drives just failed on me, which is not fun. But we're fine. Haha, it's not the important hard drive. Now I'm seeing you guys, but I'm just here. Let me double check my stream stuff. Okay, I'm fine. Okay. So I still have my backup chat. Yeah. I'll have to mess around with that later. Okay. So someone was saying to take a look at the roof. So up in the roof, okay, we have a lot of Gilnean work being done up here. So these are like smaller Gilnean tables, and then here's like a larger like shelf, right? Shelf structure. Yeah. Yeah. So like they call it a wall shelf, but you can use these as planks basically. So so you can buy a whole bunch of these off the auction house, but these are very expensive because these are crafted. These aren't so much. Like these you can buy like really cheaply once you complete a quest line over in Duskwood, I believe. Yeah, so it's right there. Yeah, so you'll be able to like get that. Oh man. Okay, so I think that's it for this room. We'll see what's going on beyond the portal now. Gilneas decor is great because you have like, so here's like another example of the tables. It's great stuff to work with. All right, so through the shroud is nothing. Denied. All right, so I believe that is it for this house. Wow, lots of awesome technical work uh, that's being utilized here. Very, very advanced techniques. One of my, I guess one of my favorite takeaways is this whole burned kind of wallpaper sort of setup. Oh, that's sick. You know, it won't be long. Oh, next patch actually, we're going to get like improved rugs. We're going to get square rugs, so that way we can like wallpaper stuff a little bit more easily. You know, using squares instead of like just like multiple circles and all that. And so we'll be able to we'll be able to fine tune the way that we set up like these sorts of heavy colored walls that much better. So right now, of course, the obvious one is the circular rug. Whenever people can get away from it, people have started making big use of the razor wind fountain. They use the underside of it and dye that a certain color in order to, um, just cover a larger area. Yeah, amazing, amazing place. Like I said, tons and tons of like small details uh, that just dazzle. And now we're gonna look at the rest. I'm just kidding. This is oh no, we're not done. There might be something back here. Hold on. What's back here? Oh, wait, that was the thing. That okay. Never mind. I let myself down just right now. All right. So yeah, dude, big thanks to Mouse and Cottage Wizard for letting us see their place from like our point of view. Oh man, that was so good, so good. But yeah, we're gonna head over to U.S. Realms in just a bit. Let me take a look at stuff. Okay, so it says connect. Oh yeah. So let me turn that off. The chat bot broke, unfortunately. No, thank you for reaching out. This was dope. This was so dope. I feel privileged. Oh man. You know, by comparison, I feel like a housing doofus who just got lucky and played the judges and got a prize. You know, that was my angle. But we just saw some real shit. That's the real stuff right there. All right. So let's head on in. Stream looks weird about the on-screen chat. Yeah, I know. It sucks. There's nothing I can do about that though. Like a little while back, I ran into issues where one of the hard drives would just disconnect, unfortunately. Um, Now that hard drive happens to be where I have all my games, funny enough. All my Steam games, not WoW. Um, but yeah, it would just disconnect. And I've tried swapping cables and other things, haven't quite figured it out. But for the past like about 2 months, I've had no issues. So I'm very sad that it suddenly happened during stream. That's highly disappointing. So did an amazing job. He read the instructions, represent World of Warcraft perfectly. Thank you. I'll take that. Um, I'll definitely take that. All right, let me move the chat here. Make sure I can see the stuff. Okay, cool. Delay between Twitch and YouTube is getting worse than usual at the moment. I mean, YouTube is always pretty bad. I think it's like 30 seconds or so between stuff. Yeah. Let me show you what I did. You know, since I'm transitioning a little bit. I did a little bit to the house yesterday. I mostly wanted to work on like a certain part of like the outside area. It's hella not done, but I'll just show you the work in progress because it's fun. Yay! There's only there's only so many people who do active builds or who are just like spending their time building these days. A lot of the time people are doing like season stuff and all that, and that's fine. Play the part of the game that you want. Um, but at least on stream, I see considerably fewer streams that are like just doing like builds and stuff. So sorry, we're gonna do our usual hike. It's like a hike to get all the way there. I didn't quite realize, until I was like building stuff out more and more. I'm like, wow, I'm just covering a lot of ground, as it turns out, because I'm like at full run speed and all that stuff as we climb up and like explore and get to I just want to get to the cafe. Why does that have to be an epic climb like each time? So what did I do actually? Just trying to remind myself. Oh yeah, I did this. So after yesterday's visits where I saw like the cool void table effects, I was like, I gotta do something with my void tables. And so I started off with something like this as like the background for what is going to be the bakery part of the cafe. So that's where the coffee and whatnot, it's being served like over here. So it's just going to be a bunch of coffee stuff that's being served. Kitchen's in the back, but then here is where uh like the treats are going to be, and I'm just gonna have a limited selection. I'm not gonna try to make like anything like too nasty or crazy. Like I'm gonna be very limited on like the custom cakes and like scones and what have you, but I'll definitely do like some cookies and whatnot here and there. I just need to fill up this countertop with a little something, but it took a little bit for me to like really get the kind of effect that I wanted to here. So I ended up having like this sort of like, boom, 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 these 3 levels of Gilnean walls. But then I took the void tables and then just made like this neat little effect where you have like little stars coming down and then like that sort of thing. I thought it was cute. Love it. So I felt quite inspired when I saw it from yesterday's build. I'm like, okay, I got to do something with the back here. So I did something with the back. But then I also wanted to work on creating like this whole outdoor area, and it's going to be highly restrictive, very, very restrictive. You can kind of see. Well, actually, I got to go out and here. Nope, I hid them already. Oh, here's one of them. So there's a privacy screen right over there, and I'm going to have one here as well because I only want people to go out as far as this, and then they'll be stuck. And then I'm just going to have like this big old like this very gaudy just a whole bunch of blood elf statues just all posed trying to look epic or something like that, but it's just going to be like a street, so this is like super blood elf street, and then on each end there's going to be like maybe a tunnel or something like that, or some sort of perspective sort of dealy, but I'm going to limit what the user can see from here. Like they won't be able to like jump out and across. That's going to be all filled out and everything. So like basically this is going to be a shot is the intent. I just need to get a whole bunch of maybe like 1 or 2 more of those blood elf statues from jewel crafting. Statue, yeah. So like, nope, that's the dude. So here's the lady. So she's gonna be the queen. Yes. It's not gonna look like that, but it's gonna be something similar to that. I want to see if I can pull off like getting some of those warning lights, and then just like bedazzle the statue like it's a freaking like it's the Palazzo or like something in Vegas where you just have like way too many lights on this thing. It's just gonna be like goofy as fuck. As you're going through, and then you just hit the sidewalk and like that's it. Then you're on your way. I think that's all I did. That's gonna be about an hour or so to do. And then I closed off this space. That was where I was like doing some video work, and I'm like, okay, I'll just have these guys on the side. I'll have like them, yeah, and decorate the stage area just to have like a little bit of extra pop and personality or something like that. That's my idea for it too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it begs for it though, right? It like defines blood elf architecture. Just big, gold, excessive, and all that. It's just fun. Just plain fun. All right. So that's enough for me. Let's get to the visits, shall we? All right. So they are done. And that happened to be a twofer. Next off, we're going to Sexy Sarah's place. I wonder what we're gonna see. Perhaps something sexy. I don't know. But we'll see. Looks like a big place. 4-story place. Ooh, boy. We're going on a journey. I'm gonna use them for the last stand against the Void invasion. Currently farming all the Void and little soldiers. You know what we need to see? I want to see we've seen the plushie fight, right? Oh, there's the boss. I also want to see a target dummy fight. So like I want to see like there's the Void one, there's the Blood Elf one, and there's the Troll one. And I think there's one other. Something like that. Yeah, I want to see like a whole three-way battle. I do remember like because at first I was looking for like the Blood Elf target dummy. I was like, where is it, dude? And then I finally did my first run of the Windrunner Spire dungeon, and then I got one. I'm like, oh, that's where you get it. Crap. They're like, yeah, dude. I'm like, great. Now I'm gonna have to actually run this dungeon. But that's what followers are for. So, oh well. All right, so look to these colors. Pop crazy. Okay. Let's get back into the zone, buddies. Yeah, I'm going to do it on follower dungeon difficulty just so I can like slam through it and all that. That should be like a little bit easier. All right, folks, this is Sexy Sarah's place. Rovern Founders, and we have like this immediate pop. We got purples and pinks as we climb the stairs. We got cherry blossom trees, big, okay, maybe that's not their tree, but we got trees all over the place. And let's set ourselves up for an adventure. Actually, there's more than that. There's like a bridge that's going, well, okay, this is wild. This is already pretty crazy. Let's start off down here though. Right here on the side, like I said, big structures here. We have an Arkandor set up, cherry blossom tree. Here we got our auto waterer guy, and these very meticulously placed greens. So meticulous, in fact, that they all grow in the same orientation. I love making fun of that. It's not really like me dissing. I just like pointing that out whenever it's being used. It's fun, is what I tell myself. But yeah, we have that, like this kind of like these big presentation setups. And what's neat is like how this ended up connecting to the greenhouse right into there. And what are we growing? Giant rock. Plus some greens on the side, but we're mostly growing a rock. But hey, everyone's got to find their place to thrive, right? Right under here, we have a place to relax, enjoy the views, think about stuff, like our giant rock. Where is it? Okay, right over on the side. Nice. All right. This is a lot to look under. And then there's like, wait, they did a whole connection thing there too. Okay, this is neat. This is so neat. We were just looking at a build from Building Mouse and Cottage Wizard. That's like a deadly duo right there. But now we're seeing another kind of connection here from one house to another. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we'll do the quick pan out real quick. I want to see what else is going on here. The house itself, it does have some dressed greens right in front. We also have the Aspirin Fountain right there too. The climb here is also being supported by this lovely fountain setup. I think this is something from the shop, right? Yeah, so really big piece when people want to play with something like that. But let's circle back. We'll climb back up, and we'll just take a stroll across, right? Platforms, beams, and then actually platform, and then Bing, 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 bing. So in this case, we have like two plots that happen to be quite close together. So you can see like one is right here. You can see the homestone or whatever it's called. And then we see one just like right over there. And so you have like borders that end up coming very, very close together to the point where you can make these sorts of connections. That's very neat. And now, like I said, we saw a building mouse and cottage wizard do something. We're going to see a lot of folks perhaps doing the same. These like cool collaborations. Now, where's the horde one? I gotta wonder to myself. All right, so they're saying, oh, it's their husband's house. Oh, nice. That's cute. That's darling. All right, so let's head inside and see what's good. I'm also trying to fight out the anxiety of my hard drive potentially failing. I'm like, oh, I'll be sad. So many games, man. So many games on that drive. I'll have to figure it out. All right, so according to the notes, we're going to be exploring a 4-story place. So this should be quite a treat. Now, as soon as we come in, it feels like we're sort of like teleported in, like we got pooped out of a book of sorts. Welcome. Thankfully, they have a mat to catch, well, whatever we left behind, or we can at least wipe our feet. Check out the checkerboard setup we have here. Kind of a typical practice where they're using platforms or just whatever the regular floor is, and then using like these dyed boxes, these crates. Which crate is this exactly? A carved wooden crate, because you can see how it has like a very plain texture to it. It's nothing too crazy. It has like a little bit of bevel, but it's barely noticeable. Actually, it's the bottom part being used here. So here you have no texture at all. From there, it's dyed whatever the black is, and there you have it. So nice and easy setup, and then you just got to line all that stuff up. So when we enter, though, we're greeted with a pretty tall stairwell room. It seems to be going up at least twice. So there's like 3 floors here, but down here, we're immediately greeted and offered some coffee. Okay, I'm a sucker for that, so I'll definitely sit, enjoy some French press stuff, and enjoy the glow from the fireplace. Notice how this fireplace is built into the doorway. So this is like this whole grand setup. That's a neat way of putting that together. So that way you have it kind of like flows together a little bit more. That way you don't have like this whole awkwardness of like a thing that's like coming out. Instead of using other things like shelves or whatnot to bring it together, just make it feel like it's part of the house. Just do it right into the wall. That works out fantastically. Over here on the side, in this corner, pretty well lit spots. This is where the designing happens. This is where we're doing work and kind of like figuring out, okay, what else is going to go into our house? So all the planning is done right over here. Big old fountain plus draft theater crystal to kind of round out the center of this room before we do the climb. But I let's see, different ways to go about this. I think there might be like some sort of secret back here too. Yeah, there is. We might go there first, but we'll go through this door in just a second and take a glance at the kitchen area that we'll definitely be visiting in a bit. First off, quick leak. Let's have a seat. Make sure we good. I'm feeling great. Nice and flat pretty much. And we got this piping work, so we got this whole like, okay, we poop, and then it goes through like this magic stuff and it all gets disintegrated, and then it comes out as a very clean vapor thing that is going to be like, ew, you don't want to stand next to that anyway, because that's going to feel a little bit gross. Sick bathroom though. Kind of neat too that the mirror sort of doubles up as like this kind of like a countertop of sorts. It's not something that you're gonna like reach for normally because like sink's right here, but you could have some decorative stuff up there too. Coming back here, we have this cool rock formation plus fountain. Quite not tasteful. This is what I wanted to say. Oh, and you have like this little kind of like not steam, but you have like this little lighting effect coming out. Yeah, that turns out really pretty. All right, so let's go through the secret door real quick. Maybe real quick. Let's see what we're taking to Narnia. Nope, we're taking to a bedroom, a hidden bedroom. Why are they hiding? Why are they hiding from the living room here? You know, actually, you can think of it as a sort of an escape room too. But we do have this. I'm directed to go here immediately. We have this really pretty setup, outdoor illusion kind of thing going on. You know, in this case, you have it's cool because it has this sort of eclipse kind of feel to it. You have like one rug and then another rug to create that crescent shape. Sometimes we'll see different takes on this. Sometimes we'll see something where you have like the rug, you have the circular rug, and then they angle it just a little bit differently to create that crescent shape. In this case, though, by using this technique, they can, I would say, more easily customize how this ends up, how the shape of the crescent ends up looking for them. So yeah, that's one cool way to do it. Otherwise, we have a very purpled out room, big old Dranithus string lights to help illuminate the spot, but it's really like, what's this thing called again? It's really this thing that's producing like some of the light effects. Like you see some of the soft blues coming out there too. Very pretty for a private room. All right, so we will, that's going to be a lot of a climb. So I think I'm going to go here first. Let's check out the kitchen spot, and then we'll see how this all, or if this all ends up interconnecting. Start off with like the dining area. And what do we got? Big meats. We got coffees. We got shalamba. We got veggies and fishies being cooked. And notice again, like we have this very, I guess the word is varied, selection of colors, purples and blues and pinks, and we see that dotted all over the place. Here we have like this very grand countertop. Actually, we have what looks like two big beams, embiggened, and then they added stuff to it. So they wanted to go for like this very like clean, sort of setup. You know, small sinks right there. Again, they're shaped with the beams, more countertop space plus shelf, and then we all the fixings, coffee stuff, very very important. More coffee stuff, condiments. So it looks like for the most part, dinner's been served. We're good to go. Our roaster on the side. Looks like we got this kind of pantry or fridge. Let's go with a fridge. That's usually how that goes. Very nice, very spacious as well. So that all happened like under the kitchen. Oh, I'm sorry, under the stairs. You know, the whole kitchen area. Now let's do this climb. And I think, is that a prison? Yeah, that is a prison. That's neat. They just flipped the dude upside down, and now it has become a table with a very like magic kind of like tabletop or drapery or kind of thing. They're like, oh my God, where'd you get that? Did you get that at Joanne's? No, I used magic. It's like, oh, okay. You think you're so good with your magic, Janet? It's like, okay, Eileen, why don't you go and try to make like a cool table thing yourself with your own magic? And then they fight, and then, you know, just all that. So we get to the top of this. Oh, dude, ooh, look at that! This is like the underside of like some big fountain structure, if I recall correctly. Nope, it's a bed. So we have like, yeah. So check out how it's being used here. So they're using like these very straight edge lines, so we can see like you know, here's the shape, and then we see it presented here. So the way it's being clipped, you have the whole rounded shape that happens to clip just fine. And we have this very dazzling pattern. It's a really easy way and very cheap way of creating like this new effect for a ceiling, because you have like one, two, three, you have four of them. So boom, 20 budget. I forgot how much this thing cost. Yeah, 5. So 20 budget, full ceiling. Boom. Very cool. Very creative setup, and very cheap. Well, a lot of us try to be economical about that sort of stuff. But then up here we have like this very like this kind of warm evening-ish sort of vibe. We can see up here how it feels a little dark outside. You know, there isn't too much out there. It might just be like, I'm not sure what's behind the windows here. It might just be like dark surfaces or whatnot, but it has like this very, you know, very low glow to it. So a bit of that darker ethereal sort of look. But by contrast, we still have, despite the lower lighting, we have like these colors that just continue to pop. They just love the pinks and purples. They're even working on more stuff. Very nice. And then here, I believe we connect to the first room, right? Yeah, so we're connecting to the first room now. We're at this spot, and let's explore this room here. Now I find this curious. We have floating objects here. Not sure if that's intended. I'm just kind of pointing that out. And then on the other side here, we have a number of objects that are, well, we're making like a kind of sort of jumping puzzle. Yeah. Okay, not really. We just have like this direct path. We're climbing some books, some curved tables, some more books that'll take us to the upper floor. Here again, we have this example of a fireplace that's built, you know, kind of like into the wall. We have like little gaps here, but I believe the intent is to achieve a very similar effect that we have on the lower area there. It's almost like they're connected, and we just have like this one, you know, interconnected like pillar of like heat, and it's all coming up at this point, and we'll see how high it takes us, because I think it ends at a certain point. Kind of like this. We have like this little suspension bridge, and helping to fill it out, we have, I believe, these Suramar fences, right? Not Borealis lights. Yeah, these Suramar fences help to round that out. And, you know, of course, we also have the additional color with the Borealis string lights. And then, so this is where we were, right? Yeah, we climbed up through here. I'm sorry, I'm just getting my orientation back together. So we have a path there, and as well as maybe something here. Yes, we do. Behind a door, another door. And then, bedroom? A bedroom. Very interesting that the bedrooms are the spots that are hidden. So this is her bedroom. So I guess I need to behave myself, right? Right. Cool custom bed. Reptar's in charge. But in this case, you know, instead of just like plain old bed, they created like this, you know, big platform, big beam. So here's me, right? You know, big beams to help dress this bed. Nice choice of using the curved table as a backboard, or an additional backboard to like what's already provided, because that helps bring out that bigger pop of color. Because it would feel kind of funny if it was like, if you had like this big frame, but then you were left with like the default, like the wooden texture looking bed. Like, no, let's round this out. You know, let's complete the thought and have this whole setup instead. Very strong Draenei themes. Very cool. Now, no, it's going to be kind of funny because it's like, hey, here's the moon. We have this cool outdoor box being set up, very well lit. Again, they're utilizing that technique of just taking a smaller circle that's of like the same color and just putting it over a brighter white. But I'm pointing out, like, it's kind of funny that we have the moon out there, but then in a minute we're about to go outside, or right now we're going to go outside, and here's the moon out here too. Oh, there are multiple moons because this is Azeroth, and there are, in fact, multiple moons. So let's step outside. Actually, I want to turn around and like see what sort of like setup we have here. You know, what I'll call like, you know, fairly basic setup, you know, to kind of lead us out into the yard area. I saw that their budget was like almost full. So those are some of the considerations when you're trying to, you know, set up like these complete thoughts and whatnot. But at the same time, there's like so many things I want to throw down that you start running out of budget, and that becomes a challenge for sure. Out here, though, you know, we have what I find to be a very successful illusion of setting up, you know, like a horizon and trying to obscure like some of the clip there. At the same time, you have this area here that's being utilized as, well, it's the exit for one thing. But also, I believe that this is like one big rug. that's being used here. Yeah, we have one big rug that is meant to kind of match here, but not really. Thankfully, the lights that are coming from the spotlight here. Actually, what's this structure here? That is it's a window. Interesting. Interesting choice there. So a window is being used to kind of like shine here, and again, maintain the illusion, even if we don't have like an actual glow. Some folks who might have like pre-purchased Midnight, they got one of those like big fountain things, and sometimes those will be used. There are other ways to achieve that sort of effect, but window and rug, that can do the job too. So as we pan back, I want to do like this whole zoom out thing. Nice fountain setup here. So I mentioned this a little bit earlier in like some other build, where some folks, they'll utilize a big piece like the Razor One fountain. So you can see like here's the structure, and you can see the demonstration of it being used here. It's just like this really big piece that you can use for like it's like 5 decor or 5 budget, but you can fill out a whole lot of space and achieve effects just like this. So it's a smaller use of it. Now, of course, they have to like kind of draw around that, because like here's like the whole circular part. Here's like the limit. But you can see how it can be put to very good use. All right. I also want to point out like the cute little bridge being set up. Again, nice and simple. Boom, 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 platforms, and then more platforms to kind of round out that whole shape. And then finally, as we go in here, we can hang out in this little spot, get a little bit of warmth, take a quick nap, or just, let ourselves enjoy a good book or a drink as we're outside. Oh, I can sit? Let me see. Yeah, I can sit. Boop. And so here we go. Nice and creepy. Because I have sunglasses on. That just makes it creepy. So. All right. So we're heading back inside, past the bedroom. Now remember, this is a whole private spot. This is like this is the boss's place. That's their refuge. Not everyone is allowed to go in. But now let's cross here, and we'll climb up a little bit later. I want to go through and continue exploring this spot here. So now we continue this theme of like pinks and purples, plus the whites to set up sort of vibe there. Again, giant. Okay, not even a giant thing. This is more like just a fireplace that's sort of built into the wall. Nice and simple. Connections right over here, off to the side. Boom, there you got your fireplace and a place to have cakes. The clipping's interesting here. You have some neat pattern work that's being done like this. I kind of like that. Yeah, it's like barely overlapping each other, so that way you can have that whole like kind of like spilled frosting look to it. I think that's neat. Centerpiece, big centerpiece, where we have what looks to be the newer version of the cherry blossom tree, because this one happens to include the pool and also like a big structure here with some of the other one of the other setups with the blushed rocks. I don't know what to call that. I'm just gonna keep calling it blushed rocks until someone corrects me. So this seems to be just kind of like a whole gallery of like stuff that's available on the shop, and it's your money, whatever you want to do with it. I, though, am going to enjoy what's on the tube. And what do we have? Darkness. Because maybe it's laid out, and maybe you don't want to do that. But at the same time, we can enjoy some tea. Vibe, hang out. Oh, it's one of those moments, guys. It's where, hey, let's go sit down. Let's talk. Oh, okay. I get it. I get it now. Now, let's see what this climb here is all about. Okay, this is kind of okay, now that I'm panning back, this is kind of a party spot. So here's what feels like VIP, okay? We sit, we enjoy people who are walking by, boons, boons, boons. It's sort of like that vibe. because yo, you got like the festive chairs. We're chilling. We got like all these colors. Once again, I almost wanted to like click on those. Those are like as if those were like secret shelves of some sort. So we have a path there. We have an outside thing there. We have another spot there. Ooh, we got options. Huge place, by the way. Lots of space to cover. But not here. Here we just have the bathroom. So, boop. Here we have our tub. Boom, boom. Nice thing, nice little touch with the drain. That way we have like a little bit of immersion there. Once we're done, we dry off, rinse ourselves off in front of the vanity. Check the potty. Different potty from what we saw downstairs. This one has a bit more basic plumbing, but hopefully that kind of like routes through, goes back into the electric stuff, and cleans itself out. So hopefully that's the case. It's got a bidet on it. Very popular choice right there. Okay, so as we go through like this large space here, now we have, ooh, what is this we're climbing? So we're coming outside. Lots of greens, but it's also outside. People are coming through here. Wagons are set up. We're invited to do that climb, but let's see what else is down here as we kind of like pan around. We have a bit more dressed up of an exit from the previous place that we were looking at. That was the boss's bedroom that we were at. But in this outdoor space, we have some flanking structures here to help fill it out. Again, give that illusion of where we're coming out or where we're going. And this feels like a sort of like this, got a pool going on here. And who's ready to dive in? The Murgles. Yeah, one of each is ready for like good times. Or actually, they're no. These dudes are like telling that one right over there, jump, jump, jump. And then he's like, dude, I'm scared, guys. And they're like, don't be a bitch, jump. And so we'll see what happens. We'll leave that in suspense. I'm cheering you on though, little buddy. I think you can do it. You're fine. You're a Murloc. You can. There's tons of you. There will be more. It's a barbecue area. All right, so let me pan back around because I saw some food being set up here. I was just kind of like walking by that. I was directed straight to the pack of Murgles. So we got big foods being set up. Yeah, dude, like he's got to jump. He or she, they got to jump. So that way we can enjoy some stuff later on. All right, let's do this climb. I'm very curious to see like what's up here. So boom, boom, boom. We're climbing up these pipes. Very expensive climb, by the way. I want to point that out. We're climbing up, resonant crystals, 800, 888, just tons of these resonant crystals that we're blowing through to get up here. But we have this nice little restful spot. We can chill, once again, have some coffee, see what's going on the outside, maybe stare at that Murgle who's about to jump. We can even nap here too, if we want to. Boop. Do our thing. A little overhang there for more folks who happen to be, so very public spots that we have out in this skybox room. You have so many of those? Oh, I only have so many of those pipes, man. Like that stuff adds up. That gets expensive. Oh, I didn't even notice like the whole rainbow thing right up top. That's cool. Neat. All right, so through this spot though, now what are we getting into, eh? It looks like another outdoor spot. This one has been heavily draped. I think this is like a single drape that is separating us here. And then, very cool. We got a whole house, a whole second house to explore, but not really. We're not going to be able to get that far. Yeah, very interesting setup with, because we have like the whole crowning part of the drape here. I like how like the transparency, you can barely see it. It's barely visible, but it covers that whole spot. That's a neat concept. All right, so let's see how deep this house gets. So we have, nice roof work, by the way. So we do have, in fact, a closed off house. We have a bit of covering there to, because we're hitting the skybox walls at that point. They just want to obscure a little bit of that. But we have this nice big bedroom. Oh, baby. What happens here? Just a lot of rolling around. A lot of privacy that they want to have here. But also, again, very spacious. Like, notice here, we do the climb in, or sorry, we do the walk in, and we go up like this one step, boop. We go up this elevation. But what do we have? We have giant coffee. Oh, yeah. Huge coffee stuff. One pole can easily fill more than 2 cups, which is like fantastic. Again, we have like this work of, instead of just having a standalone fireplace, stuff that's embedded into the wall. Love that touch. And otherwise here, we just kind of chill, hang out. Like they call it a guest house. Now this covers everything. Very spacious. And once again, we have like these big presentations of like the different pink decor available. And also a floating waterfall. That's cute. Remember, it's a land of magic. Just why not? Ain't no reason we can't have something like that. All right, so I think we're backtracking now because we went to the bathroom. We had the 2 outdoor spaces that were right there. And now I'm going to double check what is in here. I think I've been here though. Yeah, that was the bedroom. So now we're going to climb. Let the climb begin. Let me boop right over and see what we got. So we got at least like 1 more floor to go up. And we'll see if there's any like interconnectedness going on. All right. So we're up here. And what do we have? Some void stuff and a secret shelf. So I think we're invited to like just kind of like hang out for a bit as we soak in like the rest of what we have up here. Actually, I want to see what's down below. First off, we have this sort of like study desk, but also a heck of a view all the way down there. So yeah, we can make way all the way to the bottom of that spot. Quite the journey that we've been on ever since we started. Love these flags, by the way. This branding for Void Elf stuff. Is this Void Elf stuff or just Void stuff? Because whoever it's for, like I love the branding anyway. It's sick. All right, so wait. This is the secret. Okay, yeah, so this is the secret shelf. Okay, so secret shelf. Boop. We go in, immediately greeted with this floating train set. Again, I wonder if there's like there might have been some bugs happening that's causing some of these things to float. Unless that's intended, then my mistake. I'm directed to come here first because we have a pet area. Oh, so cute. So what do we got? We got a pet hippo. That's a first. Haven't seen anyone do the pet hippo yet. Is that a hippo? I don't know. But I'm going to say it's a hippo. And I'm going to call that very original. Very nice. Now we also have up top here, big old cat tower. Oh, it's supposed to be a tiger? Oh, okay. That's totally my bad. So the tiger comes out here, hangs out, does their thing, does their climb. Oh, that's neat. They also made a fan setup right up here. Oh, and that's what the chain's for, to turn that fan off and on. Now, how do I get there? That's a lot. That's a big ask. I don't think I can jump up this, right? Yeah. It's a big ask to turn off and on that. So it just stays on forever. That's cool. I'm down for that. It looks like here we're invited for another climb. So we'll wait on that for now. Let's explore what's going on this floor. Now, if we're on this spot, now we just have a certain vibe, with these kinds of lanterns being used. Yeah, it's a bit darker, but not too dark. It doesn't appear the lighting has been adjusted in the house. But instead, we just have like this kind of like faint, sort of like purpley glow when we come in. And that one, and we're doing a lot of twists, actually. And now we're climbing anyway. Well, I tried. I was trying to wait to do the climb, but first, oh, this feels like this has total council room vibes, right? Oh, snap. Okay, never mind. Well, the council meeting did not work out. Apparently I've been I've been rejected and instead exiled, along with Zalatath, to boil in the fiery void. Well, that's a shame. Can I walk through here? I'm not sure. Not that way. Oh, there's the boss. Hi. What? Okay, they fell again. Okay, so something happened. Oh, this is a what is that? That is a ancient worm device. Okay, no, that's a cookie thing. But somehow they like fade. Oh, it's a bench thing. Okay, that's how we get out. Boop. Yay, I made it. Okay, so now I'm in Narnia. Let's see where we happen to be at now. So this happens to be a dead end. No, it's not a dead end. This is the treasure room because now we got hooked up with wine. So after being stuck here for 12 hours, just getting blasted off wine, we resume our journey. And we'll see where this has led to. Oh yeah, I know there are places that there are turns that I've missed. But you know me, I'll just choose a spot and I'll start going. And I'll do my best to backtrack. I like to think I'm usually good about not missing turns, but I definitely will sometimes. Especially these days. Like places are just massive these days. Okay, so here we are in the room that we wanted to skip. I'll do some backtracking again just in case. But it's this place where we've seen more than any other lots of use of void elf stuff. Yeah, I haven't. I've seen a couple of places. I think this one has been quite extensive with the use of different kinds of void structures. So that's cool. I find that very, very cool. Because we're going to see like that much of a stronger representation here in this spot. Oh, bedroom stuff. Oh, the moon is everywhere here. Love it. So in this case, full moon being set up. Under the purples, when we also have a standard bed. This one's not as dressed up as the boss's bed, but here we just have like the standard Caldari bed. Still a popular pick. People like the flat texture because there's a lot you can do with it. So people find a lot of happiness with being able to do all sorts of things with that shape. What's the floor thing? So this right here is one of it's another one of the shop items. Now in this case, this gazebo, we're just seeing the floor part of it. There's like further elevations and separations and whatnot, but in this case, it's only like the floor design that's being clipped through and being displayed here. So I'll think of it as a big old rug for now. All right. So that is the pet stuff. That is the council room where I failed. And so now we're doing the climb. Table. Many of those. And as we get up top, now we enter not a council room, but we enter like this gazebo. You can kind of see how it's surrounding the spot here. Big drapes, big plans being made, plans for the evil Ilaria. Maybe, I don't know, something like that. But what else do we have around this corner here? Kind of curious. More plans being made. So at some point, we're seeing the beginnings of plans, perhaps technological plans. At some point, we might see something like spider tanks being deployed or any number of constructs, void constructs to come out here because, we're seeing, we're seeing lots of pinks and lavenders and whatnot. We're also seeing a lot of like void related stuff. So this room belongs to Sexy Sadie, who is a gnome shadow priest engineer. I think it checks all the boxes. Yeah, that worked out. Now, was there anything I missed? Well, I know I didn't do a great job of exploring that whole seating area where there are like the 3 chairs and all that. So we have seen everything. Let's go back to this spot again. Yeah, because this, quite the labyrinth to go through. Yeah, so we do the here, we do the climb, boom, 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 and then here's the spots. And then, oh, there is more. Okay, so if I turn around now, ooh, now this is a drinking room. Oh, it's a concert room. Okay, there we go. Boom, let's have a seat. Get some wine. Like the setup here. This looks great. It's a karaoke spot because here I am on stage. Doo-doo. And then there's the screen. Boom. Oh, that's nice. That's sick. Very festive. And then best part, you got hella wine. There's hella wine. So everyone that comes out here is they need to be carried out on a stretcher of some sort. Because yeah, you come in here, you're not gonna leave conscious. That's for sure. Very nice place. I think we got everything right. I think at this point we checked all the boxes. Yeah. That was all. Okay, nice. Very cool place. Thanks for inviting us over. Yeah. The wine jokes. Can't lose with the wine jokes, dude. All right, so we have 2 more places to check out, I think. All right, we're going to the spots. All right. Let's see. It's like, oh, shoot, it's way past then. Let me see if there was any news or anything. Nope, no news. We're good. All right. Let me take a moment to recover. I was sleep talking about bountiful delves the other night. Okay. Dang, buddy. I think it's time to take maybe a break. Just a short break from stuff. All right. Were there any messages? No messages. New stuff? No. Okay, cool. All right, folks, this is Puddles' place. Puddles' place. Let's go with that. Roving Razorwind. And first off, the place is fenced off. We got some very private spots, so if we're down here from a first-person view, here's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of nothing. Seeing a lot of, you can't really come in. Although I think we do have an entrance right back here. So if we can go in through here, we'll start at this spot. And we do start at that spot. Now, this part feels pretty inviting. I feel like I'm being welcomed in. We have a little signpostage right here, some place to sit. There's some fishing equipment that we just walked by. And then right through here in this gazebo, not a gazebo. Okay, it is a gazebo, but then they just plop down the platforms and here to make a surface. We have a place to snack, eat, hang out, talk shop, away from the folks inside. It's like, yo, guys, let's have a private meeting outside. You know what I mean? All right, so here we have. Did I miss my turn? I was trying to find my break for it. I'm in the wrong order. I'm going in the wrong order. I'm so sorry. I just, I'll go ahead and, sorry. Sorry to Puddles. Yeah, I read wrong. That was my bad. So let me head over to Chesto's place. They are next. Yay, Chesto. All right, so number 2. Let's go. No, thanks for calling me out on that. I don't want to. Yeah. The order that I list the stuff, it's important too, because some people, they do plan around it. I don't want to screw anyone over, man. Okay. Reset. Sorry about that, Puddles. But we'll definitely get back to you. Don't worry. All right, this is Chesto's place. We're over at Spooky Part of Founders, right? Or at the Spooky Parts of Founders. And we're in Herondar all of a sudden, right? I have no idea where the house is yet. Is it above us? No. But yeah, we're stepping into Herondar in this place. And I love, I'm a big fan of Herondar stuff. At first, I was like, I don't know, but I quickly softened up to it after seeing just like the kind of otherworldly look to it. Some folks will be like, "Oh, this doesn't feel like Azeroth," but it's just under Azeroth, so it's like, okay, that's how they cheat. That's how they get away from it. And like, here's the shot. So here's the house. It was a little hard to identify. Really, really pretty look to it. Because we have like these big, giant fungal shaped kind of things that breathe like a new sort of life into like the regular house. Have some look like some premium fountains that are like fallen over. Actually, I think this is one. Yeah, we have the fountains that are falling in like that. Nice. Actually, I think these are just Herondar fountains. Very pretty though. Especially when we do this sort of overhead shot. Oh, that's sick. That's so cool. And like, these are big structures, that's kind of the thing. So I think these are like gazebos that are being used to kind of skin the area around the house. I'm not familiar with like all the shapes, but there's just like a lot of them. So like, here's an example of like the gazebo on its own. And then here's like a bigger one. And then here's like 2 more or several more to, again, help create the shape. And then you have these greens that are here to fill out any remaining space, right? With effort, I can go under here and we can see like how things sort of like dematerialize or how it kind of breaks us out. But that's not the point. The point is a shot like this, which are very, very cool. These are neat. Yeah, I was just pointed out that these are from this isn't the premium one. These are just like things that you get from the vendors. Yeah, awesome shapes out here. Now, how do I get? Okay, there's the door. So they lowered the house a little bit. You can see how there's like no climb in this case. Just have this very obscure door as we make our way in. Let's see what we got. So as soon as we enter, we are still in Herondar. So I'm just gonna kind of guess this is the kind of house we're going to be visiting here today. Wow. Now, I've seen this flooring being used as, of course, the floor. It's right down there. But here it's being used to line the walls, too. And notice just, like, how big of a surface area this happens to cover. And from that, you can create this sort of effect. It definitely, like, redefines the whole shaping and vibe of this house. Because, yeah, big structures, popping colors, and lights. It's crazy. Okay, so do I go here, kind of? Let's see. No. I think I'm going to climb up that whole mushroom fungal structure there over there. Yeah, so let's try this. Let's make sure we can Yep. So we're climbing this thing. And how high does this get? Kind of high, because there are rocks there. So I don't know if this is actually going to take us even higher. So now let's go up. Oh, it looks like they added some lighting effects here too that are coming from like these bags of dirt. as I'll try to identify it. So we make it up this first level, and notice how low the ceiling is. You know, we have like this kind of tight exploration here. And again, the Herondar theme is very strong. We might not even break out of it. So this might be something that we'll just see throughout the whole space. But we kind of like break through. We see some other things here. We see some Niffin stuff. We see some Void stuff. Some, you know, the Arakoa statue there. So like some placements, highlights, you know, things like, hey, check it out. So I think that's a treasure chest back there. I don't know if I can click that thing or not. Is there any hidden surprises like Murgles or whatnot? There are. Nope, just gold. Since we're back here, though, maybe I'm not intended to explore this far back because you can see here I'm like hitting the walls and everything. So let's get back on rails if I can. There we go. Yeah, we'll get back on rails and we'll stick to what we're meant to perceive. Because all this is pretty. Very, very pretty. Yeah, rocks ahead, or rocks above us, fungal stuff above us as well. But now we'll go through here, and I notice that we have like these sort of floating walking stones that are bringing us in. They're attached here, but then also check out the fountain work here. Fountains plus the Herondar flooring. Neat. Yeah, so we're going through this spot, this semi-long hallway, and then it sort of opens up a little bit. Oh, but we got a lot more too. Ooh. So now we're in the middle of this cavernous part featuring our suspension bridge. Check out the work on this. Beams, 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 all carefully clipped together, you know, to make this sort of irregular shape. That's really good. That's really good. I don't know if I'm supposed to fall down that. I think for safety reasons, I'll like stay up here for now. But then we'll explore. Maybe we'll backtrack here, or maybe we'll be led to what's down there in a bit. But first, where is this leading us? So so this might be outside. I'm not sure, but no, it's not. It just opens up really hard, and now we have like this whole like Herondar village of sorts. Oh, that's sick. It looks huge. Like the way that it opens up like this, it has this very, very epic feel. Like it's farther than I think it is. It almost feels like a perspective trick. Like those things are like kind of smaller, but I think it's normal sized. Yeah, let's see as we come out here. Yeah, we see this cavern just open up really, really hard. Damn. Yeah, these greens are all, that's where all the marl went. up in this spot. Yeah, we have this nice fun place to like sit on the swing, have a good time. So like even though we're underground, obviously, you know, we have like all these huge beams of light coming down at us. Super, super bright. Yeah, so I can see like the roof over there. We are still like inside a room, but boy, it don't feel like it. You know, it's kind of thanks to the nature of Herondar decor that we can, I don't know, there's something forgiving about it. You can just kind of like plop things down. And I guess the whole nature aspect of it is like so chaotic that it's like cool if you just want to throw down, okay, let me just have like this sort of like lily pad tree looking thing like right here. And I feel like I can't really say anything about that. It's just there. I'm like, okay, I can accept that. So let's walk past. So let's go past this fountain and then through this door. Now this is flanked by. Now I know that I'm pretty sure these are like a couple of things from the shop. But let's go in through here. Oh. All right. So we've suddenly entered civilization. So things have gone folk and rugged too, real quick. So now we're like inside a home and back to kind of familiar trappings. You know, we come in, we throw up our deadly gloves. Um, this feels like a bank of sorts. You know, so we're inventorying all the things that we've looted throughout our adventures for today. And what is this here? Here we have okay, some kind of like research process, and I believe these are things from like the that whole Herondar activity of sorts. Plans being made, research being done. Yeah, so it has a sort of like warband kind of feel. You know, it's not just a spot for one person. Everyone's invited to like come check things out and be a part of the team. We got a place to sit. You know, a little bit less on the clutter. Like we have like little bits here and there, but not exactly like the lived in sort of feel. And that's a style. You know, not everyone wants to jump into that all the way because some people, they just like to have a clean house. Right through here, the bedroom. Kind of a draconic bedroom. From the bedding to the other decor. Even this right here, which is acting as like kind of like a rug, an entryway. But nope, it's a table. It's a big old honking table. It really is a big old honking table. It's freaking huge. So let's return to the research room and we'll cut across and because I see a fountain behind that Dalaran sewer door. I'm very curious to see what's behind it. It's the bathroom. All right. So it looks like we have this perhaps like his and her sort of bathroom spot. You know, here's our sink. We're done doing our business. And in each room, we have, we have the grandest toilet of them all. Oh yeah. They they straight up took the teepee and like, yeah, yo, the teepee is just hanging there. There's no dispenser. What do I do with it? Shank, and they just drop the TP right on top of the spike. Like they're good to go. And what can we say about it? Nothing. Nothing. We bathe, we do our thing, air dry, and we are good to go. Now on this other side here, same difference. Yeah, we do have like some knobs for water control. But in this case, we have a much more petite chair. You know, I'm sure the seat check is fine. Absolutely. Yeah, this is here's the normal bathroom. And then there's like there's the hardcore bathroom right over there. Once we're done, we rinse off, dry off, and we're good. All right. So let's see. We're back here. We went across there. I think I came from here, right? Yeah. So I'll leave that door open just so I know my reference and all that. Oh, another treasure chest. Sometimes I just got to see if I'm being like surprised by something. Like there might be a little murloc or something like that in there. But now we're crossing over into like this huge room. Very expansive space. So again, it gives me like some of those warband kind of vibes. So here, you know, the Council of Puppies and other plushies, they're examining what's inside Kanai's cube. I don't know. They can't even open it up. You know, they're eager. They're ready to measure out like all the cool stuff inside, but they have no idea like how the thing works because they don't have hands. So right through here, actually, I'll go through this kitchen area first. Huge kitchen spot, dude. This is some industrial strength stuff. Big pantry work. We have like a whole assembly line of cooking stuff going on. So there is a party going on over here. This is like for 30 people or something like that. Can we fit 30 people? Sure we can. They just got to stand up. It's all good. It's not our problem. As long as some of us have seats, then it's all good. You know, big coffee makers. You got food ready to go. Stuff's already been served. Tables are filled. But not this dude. Whoever's sitting here is like, nope, nope, I'm not hungry. You guys do your thing. I'll be playing with my ball and scroll and little fidget spinner. Rah, rah, rah. Here are the unofficial bosses of the house. A couple Miss Murgles who are hanging out. Oh, and there's pie. Oh, delicious pie. Yeah, big spread of food. So again, really strong warband vibes that I'm getting out of this. It's a cafeteria. Yeah, similar stuff. But then through here, oh, actually, so this ended up being like the top floor of a spot. Like my sense of orientation at the moment, just totally out the window. I have no idea where I am right now. But there is a kind of crossing there. I mean, I could probably cross myself, but I kind of want to see where this leads to as well. So let's start off with this climb down. Yeah, remember, this is right next to the whole cafeteria warband spot. So while everyone's, screaming and having a good time, some people are brooding down here. They're brooding. They are doing research on who knows what, and I'm being asked to wait. There's secret doors behind me. I'm not quite there. There might be some stream lag going on. Should I backtrack? Yeah. Should I be backtracking? Maybe, sort of. Let's run back there and see what I missed. So there's those spots over there. And we'll take a look. Yeah. This would be hard to notice, actually. Oh, boy. Oh, dude, there's an invasion. Okay, we're not going back there. But, so, here's the Miss Murgles, right? They're like, hey, what's up, dude? I'm like, oh, nothing much. I just want to read a book real quick. And they're like, no, you can't read the book. I'm like, why can't I read the book? They're like, right there. No, you're not allowed. You can't read the book. If you try to read the book, we will eat your face. I'm like, dude, what's the problem? I just want to grab this book, and then I hit the switch, and then I'm like, oh, snap. And they're like, we told you to not touch the bookshelf. So there is clearly, they're hiding something. The Miss Murgles, they started some trouble, and everyone here is about to die. So, uh-oh. Can't have that. But yeah, we'll see what happens, next time. There are two hidden. Okay, so there's another door here, or is it elsewhere? Inquiring minds want to know. A little hidden spots. All right, so let's see if we'll see if I find it. All right, so we're going to return to the room where this downstairs area where we're at. So here's the person who was like brooding. They're just like, everyone's eating, having a good time. I'm down here doing the work. Gosh, that sort of thing. And now, ooh, what an interesting structure up here. No, it's a bridge. It's just a very intimidating bridge setup. And I believe that climb will lead me up and then around. So yeah, I think we do have like a successful loop around. But what do we have down here? Processing. Some questionable processing. We have a whole incinerator here too, just to make sure there's no evidence. Who's in there? The person who probably summoned that dragon. And then they were finished off for their incompetence. I don't think there's anything through here, right? Yeah, that's just a solid thing. But let's do this climb now, shall we? Boop, 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 boop. Oh, yeah, cool stonework stuff. I'm a little unfamiliar with some of these Legion structures. Now, some of these I am. Like, this is just like a whole fountain sort of thing. But yeah, we're crossing through. We're getting like these sort of intimidating vibes. But remember, we first entered into like this whole Herondar spot. Then it turned into like this kind of like folk area. Now we're entering this sort of like dark fell area. But now I think we're going back again because now we have all this foliage to kind of sift our way through. We're doing this climb on top of these Herondar greens and into Narnia. Dude, okay. This was quite a journey. We have been, yeah, we have been seeing all sorts of different places. But now the theme just goes really, really hard on the void stuff. I was just talking about earlier about how we're seeing more and more void representation, and this is also it. So we're crossing like big table to a gazebo to the fountain, up another table. Like it's cool how well this is being used as flooring, as like a path from one spot to the next. So we're climbing and climbing. How high does this go? Oh, we're still going. All right, so we keep climbing. Some treasure stuff. They captured a rock. I'm not sure what the logic is there. But like, yo, look, I got a rock. Maybe it's a super special rock. Over here we have, okay, I'm not gonna get that close. I don't want to accidentally click that thing. But but this right here is that whole chaos portal. You click it and then boop, it'll take you to God knows where. But so it's a cool launch pad of sorts. And otherwise, here's where the void person just kind of hangs out, does their thing. Boop. So what are they having? They're having, I don't know, void pudding, something like that. Very nice. Void pudding with their void tea or coffee. As they're drinking, they're admiring their dark work at having created Lura, or having restored her to her void-like state. So I think I can at least drop down through here. Nope, privacy screen prevents that. All right, so we'll mosey our way down. And I think there was kind of I noticed that there was kind of a climb as soon as we walked in. So like, here, let's get to like some of the technical aspect here. So we're here, and it's not clear where exactly the room starts, but we're going up this climb, boom, boom, and then we're up here. So a little bit further back is where the actual skybox room started. So let's pretend it was, oh, sorry. Let's pretend it was like right here, something like that. So we climb up this elevation. So that way we have this sort of like a dip, the sort of perspective right down here. And then we have the bottom area lined with rocks, baby. Rocks, rocks, rocks on both sides, to give us this whole illusion. That comes off really well. So like, actually, let me pan back here. Yeah, so something like this works great. It's like, okay, let me just use the portal as a thing. And I don't care if it's just space around us because, since we're in like Void Narnia or whatever, that works. That totally works. Pan up. I guess I missed something up above us. So we're here, we're climbing and climbing and climbing. And then, well, I don't think I mentioned the Eye of Icarus that was up there, but I think that's what you were referring to. Oh, there's two of them. And it almost looks like they're creatures of sorts. Either they have like little rocket things attached to them, or like the Eye of Icarus, like here's the body, here's the head, and then you have like these little tiny arms and they're picking up stuff. So I kind of feel bad for them. They must have a kind of a miserable existence. Because that's what I'm getting at this one. Like this one grabbed something. This one like dropped it because it has little stubby hands, right? That's kind of what I'm getting out of this. All right. So you said that there was one little hidden thing that I did not see. If you could kind of direct me to where that little thing is. Let's see. So we go backwards. So here's the place that we crossed. So to get back across, I'll just go here and then climb. And now we return to the previous room. Back to the cafeteria spot. We're here now. So it's back in the bedroom. That was a million years ago. So so here's a bedroom, but I don't think this is the bedroom that you're referring to, is it? Oh, I'm trying to remember if there was a second bedroom. So we go through here, through the Herondar stuff. Strong Herondar vibes. Go past. Oh, dude, I just noticed this too. It not only is the elevation irregular, but it has a sway to it as well. Oh, that's sick. That's click the dais. Oh, the thing that I think I did click it, right? Yeah, because that was the Warren device, and that's what made the thing just kind of pop, and then I had the whole kind of thing to it. It was a light show. Okay, cool. Nice, dude. Love the Herondar vibes. That was excellent. That was excellent. Like this is a great example of like how again too like how we're able to like use these sorts of decor, kind of freestyle, and you can get away with it as long as it's down. You're good. You know it's hard to miss. Here, let me go down here if I can. Yes, I've achieved. Okay, so I am now in the pit of despair, and to which there is no escape. Never mind the Narnia void stuff. Like, there's no escape. All right. So now we're going to Puddles' place. Round 2. It's personal this time. Okay. It was a cave and then a house. Yeah, it's a neat vibe when we have like these wild transitions from one thing to the next. Then to get the Moss floor access, I believe that one is. I think that one is finding all the rares, right? I think that's that one. So like I don't remember the Voidstorm one at all, but if I remember, and I haven't even done all these, I think I just happened to remember. The Blood Elf one, the Eversong Woods one is the energy focus or something like that. That kind of looked like wings to me. The Zulamon one is the giant statue, the giant head statue, I think. The Herondar one, I think, is the floor, and then the Voidstorm one, I don't know, no idea. Yeah, I forgot. Suck. All right, this is round 2. All right, this is Puddles' place. We're over in Razorwind. Very privated out. At a first glance, we have like these Gilnean walls lined up all across the area, and we have that little opening right there. So we can go in from here, but let's go in through the front gate. It's not like it's gated off, or that there are like landmines or anything here. We're welcome to come inside. Place for a puppy, which is already like a big +1. And I noticed up here with this gazebo, we have like this floor being set up, and we have a place to, have some snacks, enjoy some coffee and all that, enjoy the sounds of the rocket-powered fountain / turret, depending on how you wanted to look at that. So, just going to be careful where it's pointing. The house itself, of course, with the classic large Orgrimmar house, there's lots of opportunities to add to it, give extensions, make it have like this extra bit of life to it. In this case, not so much. There's like this little tent this little overhang being set up just outside the window, with a supply wagon or a wheelbarrow full of stuff. The walking stones direct us across to this nice little setup with the basic moonwell plus the Pandarum cherry blossom tree. Just kind of like smush that stuff together, made the effect. Nice glows. Again, glows in the corner, and let's just do a quick jog around the fountain to admire some more of the greens that are being set up, including big greens right over there, all to help, just the front of the house. Back here, not so much. But again, it's a nice welcoming entrance, invitation, in fact, to come into the house. And let's head on inside. Shall we? Shall we? Yeah. Sure. Mm. All right, we're immediately welcomed by the boss of the house. And, first impression that we have is we have this whole retail vibe set up. So we're asked to look like I maybe sign the guest book or check in, check our reservations if there's like a table available. As we come in, you know, not really any place to like lay down our stuff, but if anything, we should be polite and just come, unarmed, preferably, right? But I notice immediately it's very, very bright in the spots. We have like no fewer than 5 chandeliers to help bright up the entire spot. There's no way that people will find this place to be too dark in the slightest. And we can like sit, enjoy like a huge coffee table read right on the side, have some drinks. Oh, here there is a place to I guess lay down our weapons. I mean, I thought this is a practice floor, not on top of the rug, but we lay down our stuff. So it sort of has like a not a Airbnb kind of thing, but just a bed and breakfast, that kind of just a regular bed and breakfast sort of thing. You can come in, have some snacks, enjoy the warmth and all. And what else in this room? Oh, we have more dispensers for drinks, opportunities for snacks. I say it's busy in a good way. Like imagine this place being full of people, activity and whatnot. People are vibing. It can get like loud and everything. Right through here though, and I noticed the signage here, like very, very nice and clear definitions of like each of the places we'll be visiting here. Here, big dining, room for 6, and then we got some more room in the kitchen. We'll check that out in a bit. But nice and filled out using this single table, some fancy elven chairs plus a rug to help round it out. So at least for now, we're going to be staying on theme as we explore this chunk of the house, because we got that whole extension down there, kitchen over there, and then here, bathroom, 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 maybe bathroom. So let's go. Oh, yep, yeah, we did. Woo. So we passed by Sam. Oh, dude, it's privacy. Actually, no, it's only a washroom. Okay, so there's no potty in here. Just a place to bathe, redress yourself after a long day of who knows what. There's our vanity. Oh no, here's the loo. Okay, so it's right out here. Oh, that works out. Now, interesting that they used a whole gauge as the back of it. That's kind of funny. Yeah. I mean, that works out. That works out. All right, so let's retreat from the bathroom back into the dining room. Can I click this thing? Come on, cool stuff. Gold, baby. Click thing 2. And here we have some 3D art being set up. Interesting. As for what's being set up, not sure. Maybe it's just something abstract. Yeah. But let's now go into the kitchen where we have robots. All right. Now we can say these are depicted as NPCs who are doing stuff. No, I'm going to say robots. So this is an AI house. Interesting. They are prepping food. They are cooking it. And that's it, because they're not moving. They're not going anywhere. But as soon as we take these things to each bot, they'll process, they'll do all the things that they need to ensure that your dinner's all good. So we go back. No seat check, not on the bolt chair. The bolt chair is such a default thing, and when you don't add anything to the bolt chair, like it's always a perfect fit. So sometimes I'll gloss over it. All right, so that's where we came from. That is the bathroom. Here's the eating stuff. So now we'll move this way. Yeah, really bright colors that we can add. So because again, like check out, chandeliers, lighting is just popping all over the place. So there's yeah, even if this place was like turned down, it's probably going to be like super bright in here in pretty much every room. So in this spot, which I believe to be a very humble, maybe a humble room, we just have like this older Gilnean style bed, and like some different depictions here. Representing Dalaran, representing priests. I'm sorry, paladins, and maybe Lordaeron. I'm not sure if is that a Lordaeron book. I'm not sure. It is a Tome of Shadowforge Cunning. Okay, totally not that either. So, it's a little bit of contrasting here. It's all good. On the other side here, now what sort of vibe is being done here? Because the first thing we see is the flaming trash can. So I first was thinking of goblins, since that's where you would get this particular piece of decor. But also, we have some blacksmithing work here. So it doubles up as a 1 bedroom, 2, a blacksmith area, and 3, a total fire hazard. Because, you close that door, all them fumes like get in. Dude, you gotta leave that guy open at all times. Especially because you have the blacksmith stuff. All that stuff's running right now. Now, I should have noticed here that there is some obvious branding. Warrior, Paladin, Demon Hunter, Genius, right? Genius. So let's go around, and we have this like deep green. So, and is this the bed? I guess that's the bed. So here we're seeing the type of warband depiction where, uh, how should I say this? We have there are bedrooms, but what we have here is, what I guess, for lack of better words, you have this kind of like basic depiction of like what's being represented in each of these rooms. You start off with the branding. You have your flag. I'm very curious about like the 3 flaming barrels there. But like I was saying, you have like these strong depictions and very clear branding with what's being shown here. Personalization, not exactly, but sometimes that doesn't really land well for folks who are just kind of like passing by and walking through. Class or race, that's much easier to understand when people are trying to, if people are taking a look at this place for the first time. So in this case, we have this Arakoa statue that'll take us either left, right, or center. Oh boy, some big options before us, but I'm gonna go this way and see how this goes. It's like a little town. Oh, it's sprawling. It is sprawling here. So I think we're going to expect like kind of similar vibes with each of these classrooms. Again, you have you have all the signs that tell us what these rooms are, but none of the like personalization. So that we saw invokers. We just looked at rogues. Here's like the warlock room, and a couple of selections from each thing. Now, what I found funny was that the demon hunter room, that one just had like the rack. It didn't have its own bed. I'm amused. This is mage stuff, right? This looks like mage stuff. Yep, yep, yep. And also, interesting choice of using the flaming barrels as well. Now we enter this stairwell room. Let's see how high this takes us. It takes us up 1 level. But as for what's down here, we got library stuff. We got little aminals who are hanging out, keeping a watchful eye on things. I should look at the ceiling in the Demon Hunter room. Okay, let's go do that. I just gotta double check and make sure I find it. So just look for the branding, buddy. Look for the branding. So that was Hunter. That was Druid. That's Shaman. I lost it. Great. Good going, Soul. Oh, it was. Those are different rooms altogether. Okay, so these rooms I left open. Okay, so demounter. Boom. Oh, damn, that's a lot of chains. Ooh, Legion Remix alert. Oh, yeah. That's a lot of chains. You know what's cool is that pretty soon in the upcoming patch, we're going to get lots of ropes that are of the same style. So we're going to get tons and tons of ropes. All right, so now we're climbing. And then what do we have up here? We get to the top. We have this Herondar sort of celebration. And then, ooh, this is the Hall of Prey. Many, many statues being set up. Yeah, this place is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Oh boy. Paths and paths and paths. Wish me luck. All right, let's try to not get too lost in here. All right, so we enter this octagonal sort of room. Very monk vibey, if you wanted to go for that. But then we have some paladin branding too. But this is like the training room, the proving grounds, if you want to call it. You know, this is like its own like little depiction, something like that. Right through here. One additional Pandaran storage kind of facility. That's kind of how I'm taking that. Through the center door. Ooh, brights up real fast. So a lot of the glows that you're seeing here happens to come from one, this chandelier, the floating chandelier, but then also you get it from the blue lights here on these windows on each and every side. So you can kind of think of this as like this sort of like extension that kind of like shoots out. It kind of sticks out from the rest of the house. Otherwise, it's not a bathroom or anything. It's just a place to hang. You want to have your sunglasses on, but it's definitely a place to hang. You know, over in this, so now it feels like there's like some other like sub-racial themes we're seeing here. So here we have like the a very strong Amani troll representation. Here you have like a very good blood elf representation. And then on this side, actually we're sorry about that. I think we're retreating back now. Yeah, we are retreating back. So we're going to go across, I think, and into what could be the boss's room. Boss level stuff is happening here. Plans being made, war plans being drawn out. You got little archer sentinel homies that are ready to snipe at targets, who, you know, because they can see you from ways away coming. there's no dodging it. You're kind of boned. And up here in their own little carve outs, the boss's chair, and then the boss's pet's chair, whoever that might happen to be. Nice. All right, so let's cut across a bit, and we'll see what's in this portal now. Boop. Ooh, okay, dude. Okay, they've done a whole lot of those trash pile things over in Mechagon because, yeah, this is hot. This is fine. In fact, yeah, that's totally the vibe that I'm getting here. So now you guys know, in case you guys wondering, yeah, these barrels, they do produce a fairly intense lighting effect, especially when stacked that many times over. Look to the left of the throne. Oh, that was the pet thing, yeah. Unless you meant something else. Nope, I don't see anything to the left of the throne. Oh, that's the other left. Nope, it's a one window. Yeah, I think it was just the pet bed. Okay. All right, so let's get my orientation back here. I believe this is the next way through. we'll see if this kind of interconnects, because then I might need to like, oh, there's a hidden guy. Wait, a hidden guy? Um, a hidden guy. Ah, a little Murgle. Okay. Oh, I think there was a request here. Yeah, yeah, there's 14 plushies to find. Ah, got it. Those are now I gotta pause. Those are pretty tough for me to do when I do visits. Sometimes I'll get the request and it's like, hey, try to find all the plushies and stuff like that. Uh Again, that's tough. Because then that it sort of like makes me do a lot of backtracking and panning around, and sometimes and I've gotten feedback from some folks in DMs that that's kind of like a it's kind of a disorienting thing when we sort of distract from the exploration side of the visit and turn it into like this sort of scavenger hunt. This isn't a diss, you know, it's just a challenge that I know that I'm met with sometimes. So oh, I'm gonna choke now. So sometimes I get thrown off. I'm sorry about that. Give me a second. That's what I get, man. I'm like slamming my coffee. Sheesh. Like sometimes I'll get into if I'm asked to do like a whole puzzle thing. Um, okay, if it's a puzzle sort of house, cool. I know what I'm getting into. If it's suddenly a puzzle inside a sprawling house, then that becomes a bit of a challenge. I since I'm in this paused moment, a big thanks to Dragon for subscribing 76 months. That's hella months. And big thanks to Tunoth for big 5 gifted subs. Much, much, much appreciated. So again, I don't mean to diss on that. It's just that sometimes that ends up like uh, messing with the whole flow with the backtracking and all that. So sorry about that. All right, so now I think we're like I said, I think we're backtracking, sort of. Let me get my orientation back. So we were here. That was the boss's room. Here's the main hall. Boop. All right, and then we turn this way. I think. Or was it that way? So I think we are actually rounding. I think we are making a whole loop around, which will work out great. And we're actually seeing this sort of mirror image. So I am at least conscious of that bit of extra design where they wanted to have that whole Herondar flag, that branding, because we saw it on the other end. And I'm pretty sure we're going, yeah, I think we're going to see a bit of mirror image stuff happening here as we reconnect. Yeah, it looks like we're reconnecting to the downstairs area. That works out. Nice. Because here's that fountain again. We have once again this sort of like library kind of area. So my expectation is that we're going to see like what are remaining classes or extra rooms in this space. So like here we go. I actually kind of jogged through here really quick as I was like getting my bearings. So here's like a druid room. Hey. And they also added like some Herondar extra stuff. And I would say like this place out of all the rooms, honestly, I think this one has like a bit more customization than the others. Because you have like a bit of the greens and some efforts that go into adding some extra detail to it. Bias. No, I'm just messing. Over here, a huge lantern. You want to get around that. In this monk room. It's big enough that I want to swing on this guy. That even when you're in here in this otherwise tight space, it's just meant to be a tight bedroom. I can swing around here and like bounce off the walls and stuff, and otherwise cause a lot of trouble for the hunter who's staying next door. So this is perfect because here they are. Here's the bed, right next to the wall, and there is some distance, right, but not that much. Actually, there's no distance. So like here's the bed. But then here's like them like swinging around like crazy, doing some practice moves and all that. And the hunter's like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill this guy. And then they'll be like tempted all the time. Okay, I'm gonna just get my pets to like sneak across into the monk's room, and I'm gonna have the pet smother him. But then they never do it because, one team, one dream. But boy, I'm sure that starts friction. Meanwhile, the shaman and the druid here, they're just kind of laughing it off, like, oh, this guy. Or if anything, here I'm just making up drama now. I bet this shaman's pissed. This shaman's like, yo, all I got for myself was this flaming barrel plus one altar. Meanwhile, Mr. Druid here is getting fan mail. They're getting gifts and whatnot. Oh, take these seeds, take these flowers. And they got like all these cool things to put out. What about me? Poor shaman. Not only am I down on the meters, but no one's sending me cool stuff. Right? So, fun little story there. But now we kind of meet in the middle. And we didn't see paladin stuff. Yeah, did we? We might have, and I might have missed it. No, we did see paladin stuff. So here's the priest stuff. I wonder who their main is. So here we have what appears to be a goblin priest main, complete with their very dolled up and elevated bed, right? We have, yeah, so here's where the bias comes in, all right? Treasures and this whole kind of like lived in sort of space. It's all good, man. We all have biases. We got our mains, we got our favorites. Oh, very interesting that they went for like the raised bed too. Yeah. I mean, they could have lowered it, but nah. Let's add like a little bit more to it, you know, give it a bit more opulence and whatnot, right? While everyone else gets to fight for their bits of personalization. Like poor shaman. Feel bad for the shaman guy. All right. Did I miss anything? Oh, dude. Okay. I know that, okay, like before I close this chest, this kind of gave me the impression of like I could sit here and then someone down here they would shine my shoes. I totally had that vibe until I reminded myself, oh, that's a chest that I opened up. That's cute. But yeah, sprawling place. Like I said, huge spots, totally suitable for like a war band or a guild or what have you. Very neat. Huge place, dude. Huge place. A lot of ground to cover in this area. But yeah, thanks for showing us your place, dude. Nice. All right, so that was that one and that one. All right. And with that, we do wrap up the visits for today. Yay! So tomorrow we're going to once again have, well, we did have like, we did end up having 5 visits because we had both building mouse and cottage wizard at the same time, pretty much. But then tomorrow we're gonna kick it off with Mama Snooky, followed by followed by Bloodcane, Zabrik, and then Hestia to round things out. Once again, for those who might have been asking in chats, the queue is full already. It filled up hella fast, like less than 24 hours, which is unusual almost. But it just kind of shows how eager people are to do housing stuff or to, if anything, like show things off. But I'm going to stay on for a little bit. We'll chat for a bit. Again, talk about like the state of housing because I want to carry on about that in a scripted video that I'll try to put out for tomorrow, where I just want to open up discussion on that, things that are working great, things that could use some improvements. Talk about some of the most wanted things that people would like, and just kind of bring up my own little talking points on that. Like I was saying earlier, how there are folks who want like, hey, I want more racial housing. I want this. I want this. But we have to deal with like the realities of the current technical restrictions. There's only so much stuff that we can have, which is really shitty, right? We would love to just like have more of everything. But if we had an opportunity to lay down like 10,000 flags in our personal house, we can't just say, oh, it's my house, I can do what I want, because there's a it's a reasonable assumption that having that much will not just affect you, it's going to affect everyone because of like storage issues and database doohickeys and what have you. So it's things that we don't fully understand, but we're just kind of forced to accept, unfortunately. Some people they'll bring up their own little conspiracy theories and like, no, they're just doing that to like string us along or whatnot, which I don't really buy into. It's not it's not very responsible, in my opinion, to be like, oh, let's design this so that way everyone can have everything at once, because that sort of imbalances the whole design of things. Like one example is we have a lot of rooms, like the house that we just saw, and I don't mean to call this out as a negative. The house that we just visited, and others that are similar to it, hell, my place, lots of real estate. We have lots and lots and lots of rooms. Um, but if we wanted to have like really high quality rooms, we probably can't have that many rooms. We have to make that sort of like sacrifice, right? So what if we had unlimited rooms now? What if we could have like room placement levels like of 500? Okay, cool. We can do some cool stuff with it. But ultimately, does that mean housing is great? Not exactly. There's kind of like this sort of like balance that they want to try and achieve. That way, it directs players to make these more or less complete kinds of builds with what they have, and that's what a lot of gaming is. Not just WoW, but like anything else. Working with what you have and finding your own fun or finding victory or what have you. So, is that why we cannot level a house to level 10 because of Blizz having problems? Maybe. They could add a level 10, but maybe level 10 just won't add anything, right? But also to note, the increase the core limits on the outdoors, remember that's being added to lower levels, right? It's being added to like I think like level 5 and 7 or something like that. It's being added to lower levels because they want to have more people, or uh they want people to have more access, and more budgets early on too. That's the intent. That's how it's speaking to me, at least. If they made it so, oh, you need to get a level 10 house if you want your outdoor budget to go to 350 or whatever it's going to be, then that tells a different story. So that's how I'm kind of taking it. So it won't go up for higher levels. We don't know. That I think Datamine hasn't revealed that yet. That and like, at least at the moment, do we need higher levels at the moment? Because it's not like we can't get access to more stuff. At the same time, it's like it doesn't appear they want us to give us like more of those limits, or to raise those limits when they're not sure if they can handle it. So they can kind of do that at any time. Oh, we'll add more levels now. We'll give them more budget. Sure, why not? But what we've been seeing early on with the increased limits is them, one, reaching the understanding, two, having the capability to give players more of what they should have early on. And by that, I mean like bigger budgets, more stuff to work with, and all that. So, Fortune Housing also has limits, and they increase it as much as they can to make the zone stable. Yeah, reasonably, we can't just have we can't just have everything. It's easy to say, well, what, Blizzard's $1 trillion company, or whatever. They just throw money at it. I think if they could, they would, but it just wouldn't be economical. If it cost them that much more money to make it work, but it wouldn't really move the needle on more players playing, they're not going to do it because it just wouldn't be reasonable. They need to like think of like just like gamers, they need to work with what they've got to make these sorts of improvements, which sucks because we pay our $15 a month, man. We want the planet and then some yesterday. So, I mean, you can throw money at it, but it's just more money than it's worth, which is a really bootlicker kind of phrase. You know what I mean? I get it, you know? Um, it's not wrong to want, but we just can't be surprised that about why we're being let down like that. So, Blizz cut a lot of employees, more floor and wall types. I agree, bricks would be great. Oh yeah, I'd love like more options on these, you know. So like if I'd like to be able to do customize, hit wall style, and have color. So if I want this rugged stone to be a different color, give me it. I want this to be hot, you know, I want this to be red. Blood red, man. Then it's gonna look like I'm in a room that's like just like the inside of like I'm inside a stomach or something. That's so gross. But give me that, Blizz. Let me dye my walls and floors. You know, let me color the flagstone like different colors. That'd be cool. And I think that's quote easy to do. They just need to get around to doing it. They also need to get around to doing this and this and this and this and this. So there's only so much things that they can do at once. So understandably, they don't want to make neighborhood lag, but many public neighborhoods are not fully occupied, and half the houses didn't do anything outside. So there's storage. I guess that's kind of a different thing. Um, one of the things that I will want to talk about with housing is how, you know, people will be like, oh, neighborhoods are dead. You know, there's nothing going on in my neighborhood. Um, there's nothing to do, whatever. Um, at the same time, if you look around and if you find them, you can run into like a very bustling housing community where they're constantly doing stuff. It's just hard to see because housing, it shares some elements with role play or our peers, where it's this very insular community. If you're on the outside, you're not really in with them, so you're not exactly participating. Um, and it's up to those players to become part of those communities if they really wanted to play a part in it. But what sucks is that that involves kind of a commitment. At the moment, you probably need to join one of those guilds in order to get in. Um, and that's going to take up, and from that, you're going to be forced to join those neighborhoods. You know, that's the limitation that we got to work with. But I would say, or I would argue that depending on where you go, housing is popping hard. I'd like to say here it pops. You know, we don't have like an official guild or anything like that. Um, but I do invite folks over, and we do have regular folks coming in, and we're all talking about these builds and gushing and staring at stuff. So, Blizzard opened Pandora's box when they gave us housing. They should have known we'd want a lot of stuff. I mean, they did. They did know that we want a lot of stuff. So the question is, if players want like everything, when does Blizzard release housing? When they're able to provide everything? Or in this case, they provided enough to get us started. And then from there, they were listening. You know, they figured that there are things that gamers wanted, but were they critical for the launch? Maybe, yes. You know, that's not a wrong answer, but they had to make a decision. I think of it like this: it's like here's some bootlicker shit happening again. Um, by releasing housing now, it kind of justifies the continued investment into housing because they're seeing results. They're seeing players coming in and interacting with the game. They're seeing people, like it or not, participate in the in-game shop. They're recouping some of that cost that went into housing with engagement, with the numbers, with sometimes just straight cash and all that. And that lets them keep going. But if they waited, that means possibly waiting additional months, additional years, where they're developing without any return on that, at least not yet. And it becomes like this increased gamble where it's like, okay, you guys are wanting more and more and more because, you guys are guessing that players want all these things. Is it going to pay off? And Blizzard's like, yeah, sure, it's going to pay off. People are going to love it, but they're not sure. So in this case, they're taking like these measured implementations of stuff, while of course taking an input and showing their work, showing how it pays off. Because that's how it works, unfortunately. It's not exactly how it works. I don't know any better, but that's an example of how it works. You can't just wait. Imagine waiting another 5 years or so to have everything implemented. How long would we last? I don't know. So I don't have any guildies who are into the housing person. So yeah, I only have like a handful of guildmates myself who are doing housing stuff. They're excited about owning their own plot and finding the space to decorate, or the kind of plot that they wanted in the right location. But then once it came in, they built their house, haven't touched it since. That's fine. It's kind of a bummer. But I mean, I'm not going to force their habits, The reason the housing wasn't released early is one, because of tech limitations, but also because if they screwed up housing, people would be big mad. They had to match something like 14. They did so. It was successful. And what's funny is that they didn't even need to do nearly as much. It's just that the very bones of housing and how it works, the intent with it and what you can do with it, like the whole resizing and all that stuff. Oh, crazy. I'm obsessed too, but as an achievement collector as well as everything, I don't have enough time. Yeah, there are some guildmates of mine. They just love collecting stuff. That's their thing. So they might get their +1 with housing, but there's nothing really for them to do with it, and that's why import export is going to be a really big deal. It's going to be a much bigger deal than we think. It's going to unleash things. It's going to change the industry of WoW, as I like to call it. Because we're going to see like places like Wowhead MMO Champion, they're going to like allow people who want to post their builds to leave their codes. If people want to download houses, the end of YouTube videos where they do tutorials and stuff like, oh, okay, here's how to make a thing, but then also here's the download code if you want to just get it yourself. Someone's going to make nothing but just a database of these sorts of codes, because once you have it out there, it's out there forever, and people will be able to pick up on it. I'm a slow builder. I'm worried that you and other content creators will stop doing tours. I will not stop doing tours. I don't imagine myself ever stopping until the fucking game shuts down. To me, like right now, this is my bread and butter. This is what I do on streams. I do very little else. If I'm not looking at houses, I'm building, or I'm talking with you guys about housing. On patch days or expansion launches, different story. I'll want to engage and be part of the game and do the things that everyone else is doing. But apart from that, like this, for me, like this is what I wanted to do from the very onset. When housing was just a twinkle in my eye, I was like, yo, I want to be able to like see what other dumb shit people make. And I am. So I'm pleased. I am in a very happy space. I never understand placing your house just to leave it blank forever. Maybe that's just first time skip of Exile's reach. I mean, that is the simple consequence of being excited for something, and then when the reality sets in, it's like, oh, maybe I wasn't as into this as I thought, And that's okay. That's how it goes. That's life, man. Um, but the thing about import export being a big thing is you get like a little bit more out of it. You know, the person who might be kind of interested in housing but doesn't want to do all the work, doesn't have like the creative chops for it, they can at least download a house, throw it down, and then what, right? And that's why one of the big conversations that I'll be getting into with this write up is what can we do with housing, or what do we want to do with housing? And I'll bring up those examples like role play, puzzle stuff, gallery. Those are like the main three things that we can do with housing. But what's missing? You know, what's missing as for what we can do once we have a creation like this or whatever? What can we do with these things? And I go back to the idea because it's the easiest to understand because it's Warcraft. I go back to the idea of like a PvP arena. So imagine you come in and someone built this grand, you know, battlefield arena sort of spots. There's an area where people can kind of like hang out and flank the area. And the builder will be able to design it in such a way. This is like high level crap, garbage that I'm spouting off. You can have two people come in and then they would be flagged. There's no like shenanigans with like duels or whatnot. And the builder, they can like do the whole signal thing where you have like a counter up top and you have like a score. You can see like who, you know, the score if they're doing like multiple duels, like best of 3 or something like that, or best of 5. Um, that would be sick. And then people are like coming in and there's like pyrotechnics, there's lighting effects and whatnot. That'd be awesome. Or imagine um if the time comes, if they can do, I think I talked about this yesterday. Yeah, I did talk about this yesterday. Imagine if later they did teleports. If they added like a teleport pad, like I can like I can have like this square area or like this square panel. You step on it, you teleport. Something like that. Now imagine if you took this thing and you made it really big and then it covered an entire floor. So now you can have this whole like the floor is lava kind of thing where you're trying to jump across like some chasm, you fall, and instead of having to run all the way back up or whatever, it just teleports you to like the start and then you can try again. That'd be very cool. That would be like the makings of like this sort of like puzzle teleporter user generated content mini game. And so people will challenge themselves to like make the most difficult puzzle and then they put it on the whole showcase thing that's going to be a thing eventually. And then maybe people will rate it or leave a comment or two on it being like, dude, this thing's freaking impossible. Ah, you know, and that'd be pretty awesome. That would be hella cool. So what can we do with housing? You know, it's that kind of level stuff that I envision next. I don't know how to do it. I mean, the whole teleport thing, that doesn't seem so bad. Um, but that's the sort of thing that I think could turn out to be like a really cool, like adventure sort of thing. Of course, there are things that I don't want housing. There are things that I don't want to do with housing. I don't want it to become like this whole progression thing. Again, that goes back to the whole like, what does housing do for me? I don't want to answer that question, or that doesn't feel like the right question to ask. I don't think housing should do a thing for me, you know, to power me up, you know, to feel like this progression thing that I have to do in order to raid, do dungeons, PvP, and whatnot. I don't want the wrong people to do housing. You know, if they don't want to do housing, if you don't want to do housing, then you shouldn't have to do housing. That, I guess that should be like the very simple rule. But for those who do want to do it, what should we do with housing? More, I'd like to say. I like to see wrestlers wrestling in the wrestling areas. People have a chef NPC in my kitchen, or see my warband alts in bed sleeping, or reading at a desk, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it would help to bring life into the spot. You know, if characters can like kind of come in, do their thing, that's going to be a beast though. It's like, okay, are they going to know how to climb up these stairs? Do we need to set up like pathing rules? Do we need to like, know a little bit of programming and whatnot? And I think they probably don't want to go that far, right? That's kind of what I think. I would like to have other like bits of controls. Like I want to be able to adjust lighting individually without having to resize it. That'd be nice. Because like right now, if I take this candelabra from the order hall, I can adjust it. I can adjust the intensity and everything by making it bigger and all that. But there might be a case where I want to display the light, but I don't want to make it bigger. I just want to make it brighter. I feel like I should be able to do that. So like just give me a whole customized thing here and then customize the lighting. Make it brighter or whatever. And then make it stay like that, so I don't have to like reset it or whatnot, like the armillary. That would be huge. That'd be quite nice. They can just have a static NPC that doesn't move, but you can set what emotes they have. That's what 14 do with theirs. I know I wouldn't like that. That would feel really dull. But it's better than nothing, right? It's just that I don't know if I would want. This is a personal thing for me. I know I still wouldn't want my warband to be walking around here, but that's very much a me thing. Like as far as I'm concerned, when I'm on a character, this is me, right? Me, as in like I'm projecting myself into this character. But if I happen to get onto another character, or I'm sorry, if I happen to see members of my warband, that's going to be really weird. Because I'm seeing these projections of myself and I'm like, I don't know. It sort of takes me out. Now, what I would do, here's what I would do. I wouldn't really have my warband show up, but I'd make characters up. I would make a character that is like, I'd make a whole bunch of mechanomes and I'd call all of them Bob. And then I would have those assigned to be, I don't know, warband members that appear in the house or something like that. So they would walk around, but not anyone else. Not any character who I would actually play. That would be, if I can get that level of customization when they do the whole warband thing, then I'd be cool with that. Because it wouldn't really be like my characters. They're just ambient NPCs that I designed specifically to just wander around the house like a stupid person. So, has there been an ETF when we'll go to get our battle pets in the house? No, there's not. Someday, or it's being worked on. That's it. Then it takes up character slots, which is why you should be able to purchase NPCs and customize them. Yeah, it could be that too. Maybe. But I think I know there's a lot of clamor for it. Like for example, there's clamor for co-building, right? Yeah, there's clamor for co-building. I want someone to design my house for me. Now, here's a kind of design decision to make. Like, let's do some armchair dev speak. What would be more useful? Import, export, or, co-building? One of the obvious answers is, oh, we need both, obviously. But in a world where we have to make choices, which is the easier thing to do? Since I'm layman, I don't really know, but I'm gonna guess that it's much easier to do import export than it will ever be to do co-building. Because co-building requires like this, I don't know, the way I say it, you have to do things with permissions. You got to do things to protect from like laggy moments, and two people building things at the same time, and how it saves the state each time a new piece of decor is being played. That feels like different levels of complication that end up as the same result as import export. It's like, yo, I could just tell someone, hey, build me this thing, and I wanted to look like this. And so they would take me around. Hell, I could go to the house. So someone who's doing this, someone who's like selling these services or whatnot, I could just watch them build instead of co-building or whatnot. And then once it's done, they just give me the code, something like that. Now I know that's not the same thing. I'm sure there's there's couples who would want to be like, no, we want to decorate this thing together. I want to go in this house and do a thing, and then they'll go, and then my spouse will go into the house, they'll do this other thing. Um, but again, I just kind of question how, um, is it worth that kind of time versus other things they can do? I know that's a dangerous question to ask, but I'm just trying to drive the point home that some things that seem to be very high on the wish list, there's definitely like some things that are just way easier to do. So that, and I think import export, that seems to be universally like, ooh, a lot of people are going to pick up on that. Whereas co-building, you got to know a person, and some people just won't be comfortable with that or won't care for it. And in a world where we do have both, what are more people going to do? Import export every time. I think that's a pretty easy assumption. It's just a matter of which will come first. I think we'll be able to edit people's builds eventually, but import export will cut. Yeah, I think it's going to come first. I think there's like a lot of things that need to work first before co-building becomes like a cool thing to do. So I think import export has to come first, and actually have that come first, and then listen, see what people want next. If that quiets down the clamor for co-building, which I honestly haven't heard a whole lot about anyway, then that might settle it already. Ever since they talked about, yes, we're going to do import export, I haven't really seen much chatter about co-building at all. So maybe there's that. Is there a way to replace a room with a differently shaped room? Replace a room? No, not at the moment. So what theoretically, I believe the housing devs have said this, import export will kind of like is the solution that goes around that concern of, hey, I want to be able to replace, God, where's the start of my house? I want to be able to I want to replace this closet, but I can't do that because I got to delete literally the entire house in order to replace this closet. What import export will allow us to do is save this room, this room, this room, this. Yeah, I can save all these rooms, right? Then I can delete everything. Then, then delete the closet, change it to what I want, and then import the rooms back in with some awkwardness, but that's how we would do it. That's the presumption there. So guess we'll have to wait. Yeah, I don't want to tear down the Azeroth Interiors build. I want to leave that up for as long as I can. This one, this place, I'll enjoy it for a while once it's done, and then I'm more likely to tear this one down than anything. As for what I want to do next, I'm not sure. I think I want to do like I think I want to do a whole monochrome house. Like it's going to be a small build, pretty small spot, but it's just going to be black and white. And I want to see how well that can be pulled off. Just come out with like as little color as possible. Because that might be fun. It'll have like this awkward vibe to it. Because like here's like my character, and then I'm in this surrounded by this space that's just like one color. Yeah, might be neat. I like to see you bring in a range of particle effects just like they are without being tied to them. That would be cool. I kind of doubt they'll ever do that. Because it's not the core. Exactly. Yeah, I doubt that they'll go that route. They could, but I have doubts. The closest things that we've seen to that would be like those enchanting glyphs, because those are like semi-translucent effects. Bum, bum. They did mention import export in Kobin. By they, I mean the article that was based on an interview. Yeah. I'm on my third full rebuild of both houses. That's a lot of time. I wish I had that kind of time. I definitely don't. As much as I love building, I love talking about this damn game so much that it ends up taking a lot of my time. I do feel kind of proud. I think this kind of pulls off okay. I wanted to pull off the vibe of, okay, this is like street level, this is street level, and then we are like just making our way down into like boom the cafe. Ta-da! So I think what I need to do here, I will need to. So I had this kind of like pivot out a little bit. I'm just gonna try to set up straight walls here. Sorry, I'm like changing the subject now. So how far can I go with this? Not that far. I can only go like that much far down. And then the privacy screens are messing with me. There we go. So I can go like that far and that's it. But that doesn't seem good enough. So let me... So if I'm here and I'm stuck at this point, yeah, I gotta do something about that. How would I do that? I can't just do greens. That doesn't... Oh, you know what I would do? I think I would have like a simulated street sort of thing again. So I think what I would do... Yeah, I know what I would do. I know what I would do. I'm just gonna have more like pretend buildings here. Something like that. So I'll have like, this here, and then like the doorway to something and something like that. Right? If I can. Oh, wrong thing. Shoot. Oop. So that goes there. This. Oh, I think I messed up the thing. Yeah. So just another like building. Plus signage and all that stuff. Yeah, that'll work. Privacy screens. And I don't need to, it doesn't have to be that much more convincing. So I'll probably do like a sort of like, I'll do some roofing on top here to preserve that, and that should do it. And I'll need to do something similar on this end. Yeah, that'll do it. Finally realized we get the sign for the pressure when it's maxed. Nice. After housing now, I have mad respect for the people who build environments in the game because that shit is hard to make it look natural. I mean, it's a different set of tools. Like for WoW, at least, it's a very different set of tools for like terrain and things like that. But oh man, the way that things look carved out and all that, so good, so good. You can get additional signs from the profession. Yeah. That's the very odd thing, is that if you want to buy more of these signs, it only costs 5 gold. So you can super fill up your housing inventory if you wanted to, and just buy a whole bunch of these, and then just make something. Just make something really stupid and ridiculous out of this thing. It's a very awkward shape though. I don't know what the hell you would make, but you can give it a shot. Yeah, so I'll probably have like this whole building kind of thing set up, and maybe if I make it like, oh, how tall can I make this actually? So if I take this, and yeah, I think that would be a way to do it too. Just make these taller. I need to be careful though, because these things take up like 5 budget, and I'm like, okay. I think I'm pretty good on space though. I got what, like 600, almost 600 budget that I can still work with. So I think I'll be able to pull off everything that I want to. I want to give a not a lived in feeling. Like I don't want to have like cups and all this other stuff like all over the place because like no one's here, right? But I do want to have like a number of like of food products out here, just nothing too heavily kit bashed. And I do want to have like a decent stock of things here. Oh, I have a big old wall right there. Shit. Crap. Hmm. What do I do about this big old wall? Can I hide it, actually? Nope. Nope. Need that wall. Okay, so that... Oh, actually, no, 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 no. I know what I can do. Brilliant. I'm going to tilt it up the other direction. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so I'll do it like this. Oh, God, I'm freaking genius. Bring that up, right? And then... Okay, so it lands a little differently, but that's okay. I can live with that. Yeah. Oh, oh no. Oh, late. Okay, hold on. Hostas. Hostas. Greatest invention of them all. So I'll have like two things here. Haha. Okay, cool. We're good. Now we're good. Now I just gotta contend with, okay, now it doesn't match. I'm like scope grouping myself here, dude. Then I'll even this out. Oh, shit. We got this. We got this. We're fine. Oh no, the angle's all. Okay, now we're good. Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Our friend the Hosta. Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, I haven't tried it, but apparently you can put the cartel containment unit right inside. Oh, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, they definitely get stuck. I remember that happened before, but there was like a little thing right there where I can click to like get out. We mean several buildings in the competition over here keeps saying hostas, more hostas. Yeah, oh dude, they're clutch. If I see hostas, I immediately think, oh, they're hiding some clip. Yeah, I bet you, I bet you, and they usually are. You know, greens do a lot of that. You know, so hosta is easily like my favorite kind of plant to like hide clips. Hostas and duskwood bushes and all that. Yeah. Of course, adding little condiments with like the lilies and stuff, that'll help too. But yeah, definitely like hostas, hostels, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's coming together. It's coming together. I think after if I can manage to do the write up and get everything the way I want to express it, then I'll manage to do some extra building today. Should be fun. It's very not cathartic, but it's quite relaxing. You know, once you just get down and like your brain switches to like something else. What strip of void table or something like that? Hold on. Ornate cosmic table. There you go. You can type void; it'll just pop right up too. Yeah, ornate cosmic table goes for. Actually, let me exit. I'll just use the inspector guy. 250. 250 of the void light marl. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 9 here. Yeah. What's this that I have the food on? These are the cartel I forgot the name. Consortium energy crates. So here's the original look of the guy. And as you can kind of see, like you're only seeing like the top bit of it. So you can kind of see this glow that's happening there. But yeah. And then I am big in the guy. Yeah, it's a very popular look for those who are making like these kinds of display cases for like cakes and all that stuff. Yeah. I should make this like a little tinier or put it there because someone's going to buy stuff or they're ready to pick stuff up. So just a little baby thing there. Or maybe I should do like two little plates or like little small pies too. Yeah. Never thought of that matter myself. I mean, we've seen, what else have we seen that's used in computer tower cases? those were those were quite good. Yeah. Um, I'm kind of happy with the countertop though. I feel okay. It's a little high. Damn. Okay, maybe I'm not as happy with it anymore. I don't know. You know, it had to be this big. But I think I can lower it a little bit. So I don't want it to be too low. But like maybe like that would be good. Something like that. So let's try that. Oh, and I'm clipping too. Huh. Yeah, so that. And then that extends kind of all the way out, but not really. Yeah, and then these beams that are down here, I kind of wanted them to like just kind of come out enough to be like a bottom area for it. I didn't want it to just float. I didn't like it when they were just floating like that. So I at least want these to like sort of come out a little bit. Boop boop. Yeah. Feels proper that way. And then like a little straightening up here. Boop, 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 boop. Like, don't be stubborn. Okay, there we go. Oh no, now the thing. See, that's what I get overcompensating things. I don't have to care too much about the way these are. Like they're hard to see anyway. Yeah, there we go. Yay. Yeah, okay, that's better. It was a little bit too high. I know that I get a little butthurt when I'm like, I don't want it to be. I want it to feel like semi-realistic, relative to like my main character's height. And I think this is okay. It's just okay though. It's kind of high when you have like a eating surface like this. I feel like I gotta get onto like a raised table of sorts, but that's what happens. Blood elves are tiny. We're like little babies and all that. Definitely want to work on the stairs to make these things better, but yeah, so much to do, so little time, and we're out of time. It's lunch time actually. So I'm gonna head out. And I want to wish everyone well. Thanks to the folks who, as always, who invited me over to visit their places. We got 4 more places we'll check out tomorrow. Once again, queue is full. I apologize for folks who have been trying to sign up. That's just kind of how it goes. But thanks again. Please try again once the list is available. And off I go. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys for the next thing. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, stay